604, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. Starting you off at 41 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio right here on Government Street. Got a busy show for you this morning. I tell you what, I'll give you the rundown a little bit. You know some of the players today. Haggai's in for a cup of tech, Gumbo, of course. We got Crimestoppers coming your way, 2 Thursday staples, but some other, I don't want to say surprises, but we'll call them surprises, as we've got it's a hodgepodge all over the place. Let's dive in, though. Top stories and trending. Let's go ahead and start off on the interstate. You heard the traffic report on the way into the show right there. We've got a 3-car pileup on I-10 westbound. I want to say this is on the upslope of the bridge. It's right as where it's showing on my map, and Ray said it was a little bit further up, but where it's showing on my map is right at the 10-110 split. As you start to move across towards the bridge, it's on the 110 side right there. You've got 3 cars, at least one of which is on its side. There are, I'm not showing reports of injuries right now. I can tell you about 20 minutes before the show started, we had a slew of fire engines just haul butt up Government Street to hop on the interstate to go tend to this. So multiple vehicle accident, going to be jamming things up to start off your morning.
Number 4.
Absolutely no one is shocked. As California's Governor Gavin Newsom said on social media, he was denying Louisiana's extradition request for a California doctor who has been indicted in Louisiana for allegedly mailing abortion drugs to the state. Remy Coito is accused of violating Louisiana's criminal abortion law by means of abortion-inducing drugs over in St. Tammany Parish.
Number 3.
A possible skull was found at the Montesano Breck Park on Greenwell Street. This coming from the East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner's Office. Just the skull, not the rest of the skeleton. And that skull has been turned over to the LSU Faces Lab for further analysis.
Number 2.
Big news for Port Fourchon. Big news for Port Fourchon, as a supermajority of 36 Louisiana senators has adopted a resolution backing Argent LNG's proposed 25 million ton per year export terminal. The project brings with it the potential to generate billions in economic activity, thousands of construction jobs, and long-term employment, while strengthening Louisiana's role as a global LNG hub.
Number 1.
The former chief administrative officer of CATS, the Capital Area Transit System, has been arrested alongside an independent contractor on theft and criminal conspiracy charges. Perlina Thomas, CATS's former CAO, was indicted for criminal conspiracy, theft of over $25,000, prohibited use of public funds, and malfeasance in office. Jerrion Kohler was booked in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison for criminal conspiracy and theft of over $25,000. The indictment, which was filed by Attorney General Liz Murrill, says that Thomas, Kohler, and one other person allegedly stole that $25,000 between August of 2021 and February of 2022.
Those are your top stories. It's time to see what's trending.
What you got?
Officials in Minneapolis are urging for calm after a second federal agent shot someone in the span of a week. The Department of Homeland Security says the person who was injured is an undocumented Venezuelan national who was shot in the leg out of self-defense.
So, people were coming at the ICE agents with shovels and brooms, I think was with the broomsticks.
Oh, Lord, I didn't see that.
Yeah, sawed off, we're using a broomstick as a weapon type of thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, don't bring a shovel to a gunfight, I guess.
Ooh. Okay. Wow. No, I definitely didn't see that. All right. This one, yesterday was wild. Nearly 200,000 Verizon customers across the country reported cell service outages on Wednesday morning. I was one of them.
Oh, yeah?
We're in the hallway. Brittany Rose on our sister station, she's coming down the stairs and she's like, I'm in SOS mode. I can't call anybody, can't do anything. Same with me.
That was a lot. It was 200,000 reported, right? That's not the number of customers that were out. That was the number who actually reported being out. Which, curious, how do you report being out when you're out?
Right.
Maybe on Wi-Fi, I don't know.
Or like the videos I saw on TikTok, people were going in Verizon stores just hollering. I mean, what can they do?
What, the people in the Verizon
Yes,
stores?
just selling cell phones.
There's not a switch on the wall.
Let me fix that for you, ma'am.
I got you right here.
Right. The St. Louis Department of Health is begging people to stop posting fake monkey pictures while they try to find some real escaped monkeys because it's gotten too hard to tell which reports are legit.
This is my favorite story of the week. This is my favorite story of the week.
What? Hold on. Wait.
No, yeah. Read it again from the top.
Okay.
From the top.
The St. Louis Department of Health is begging people to stop posting fake pictures, fake monkey pictures while they try hard to find some real escaped monkeys because it's gotten too hard to tell which reports are real and which ones are fake.
Yes. People are using AI to post up videos of like monkeys in parks and whatnot.
Stop.
And the officials will go out to catch the monkeys in the park, but the monkeys aren't really in the park because it was an AI video of the monkeys in the park. I don't even know where the monkeys got out from. Don't even know. Don't even care. It's just hilarious to me.
Like, did they escape the zoo?
I don't know. I have no further information on that. I have just the news story that says the officials are saying, please stop. Please, guys, we're trying to catch some monkeys. And y'all are jamming us up, sending us all over there.
Trying to catch some bad guys who escaped.
Yeah, just they're looking for monkeys and they're on a wild goose chase. That's the long and the short
what
of it.
was it here with the bear in the tree in Broadmoor? Do you remember that? Yeah. And it was like, it became a whole citywide. Everybody was posting about it.
It was a whole citywide thing because the dadgum bear covered the whole city. He was in Central the day before he was in Broadmoor.
That's true. And he was just carrying us
throughout
the city.
The bear was like making its way around the city. I don't like, it's making a good time too.
Right.
I mean, if you're a bear, that's got to be pretty impressive.
Right. But we're talking about a small monkey compared to a huge.
We're talking about a collection of small monkeys, but that bear came up Oak Villa. Like, had to have come up I'm assuming Oak Villa.
Just strolling on down.
I mean, it didn't come up Central Thruway because then it would have had to go back. No, if you're a bear and you come up Central Thruway, you're going to opt to go to the woods towards the Amite River.
Right.
I'm hoping.
You're not just going to
I don't know what kind of directional, if
Brian, I'm wheezing. But still, yes.
A bear is not going to come up Central Thruway, first and foremost, because it's too loud.
Right.
But Oak Villa at night probably gets a little bit quieter, unless there's drag races on Choctaw.
Which always is.
Yeah. 612 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Absolute heartbreak last night for LSU men's basketball. And as good as this team is, I know the record's not showing it, but as good as this team can be, backs against the wall completely now. Must-win situation until they can even keel the record a little bit. We will talk about it next on Talk 107.3. Did you get the LSU basketball highlights?
I did.
The only one I want is that's the only one I want. When you end up losing the game, nothing else really matters. Can you play it in Q for me? Because I didn't listen to it, and I don't know what Jack Leg did when he recorded it. Okay, started right at, they're going to put 1.6 on the clock. How long is that cut?
33 seconds.
Cool. Perfect.
When do you want to pull this winner for this king cake and do it?
I want to promo it a couple times first, just see if we can get somebody to register this morning.
I'm thinking we should do it at 8:55, huh? Right before we get out of.
Yeah, that's fine.
That'll give us enough time to get entries.
Yeah. In fact, I'll put that on the rundown. King cake.
Good morning, Renee.
Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hey, before we dive into sports, quick heads up. We're going to be giving away king cakes every Thursday until Mardi Gras. In fact, we're going to be giving away one before the show is over with this morning. Of course, love our partnership with the folks over at Mathern's. If you go to talk1073.com, there's a flipper right there on the homepage talking about the giveaway. We will draw a name before the end of the show today. Bree Lynn will contact you after the show is over with and put you in touch with the folks over at Mathern's. They'll have your name waiting for you at the Kenilworth location. The giveaway is at the Kenilworth location, giving away a Mathern's king cake. One a week. We'll give away one every Thursday for right after next month, basically. So go to talk1073.com, look for the flipper, go ahead, sign up, and get yourself entered to win a king cake, courtesy of the folks over at Mathern's on Kenilworth, or at Kenilworth, I should say, because they're technically on Highland. Absolute heartbreak last night in the Maravich Assembly Center. I don't know another way to describe it. That is the only word there is for it, is heartbreak. The Tigers led against Kentucky by 16 at halftime, 38-22. And then things just evened out in the second half to where Kentucky's shooting percentage started to go back up, to where Kentucky's best players got hot, where they were shut down earlier on. Owe is the big one for Kentucky. Let me see if I get Otega Owe. He had like 4 points in the first half. He finished the night with 21. I mean, things balanced themselves back out the way a game should balance out. LSU hung on to a lead until about 2.5 minutes to go, when they finally got late. They finally cut loose or got loose of the lead. Kentucky would traded back and forth with them. It was a 1-point lead, 1-point game, one way or the other for the last minute and a half or so. And then LSU takes a 1-point lead, courtesy of a free throw, with 1.6 seconds to go in the game. 1.6 seconds to go. LSU takes a lead, 74-73. Kentucky gets the rebound on a second free throw that they missed, which I believe they missed intentionally in order to make the clock run. Kentucky gets the rebound on the free throw, calls timeout. You've got 1.6 seconds to get the ball the distance of the court and in the basket in 1.6 seconds. And this right here is where hearts get broken.
They're going to put 1.6 on the clock, from 1.4 to 1.6. And again, the Wildcats have to go the length of the floor. More than likely, they'll try a football pass, try to get it close in the front court. Basically, catch and shoot almost all in one motion.
I would certainly put someone on the ball, and I would certainly guard Owe, but make everybody catch the ball going back toward the baseline where they're inbounding the ball. Don't let balls be thrown over your head.
1.6 seconds remaining. Again, it goes without saying, certainly don't want to foul. Both teams in the double bonus here. Tigers leading by 1, 74-73. LSU desperately tried to pick up their first SEC win on the season.
I would certainly make them catch the ball going toward the baseline.
I really thought this was queued up a lot
They
better.
got Oway down under
No,
the
you gotta let it
basket.
play.
They set a good set of screen for him and try to throw it long and let him catch, turn, and shoot.
So again, they'll have Colin Chandler, the trigger man, along the baseline. Got to go the length of the floor. They'll have Sutton on the ball defender on the inbounds. Send it down the floor. Rob Miller goes up. Moreno got it. Lets it go, and it's good at the buzzer. They're going to have to take a look at it. But if it stands, Kentucky gets out of here with a 75-74 win.
And they
Miller
do. The basket stood. It was a 75-74 win. LSU remains winless in conference play, and they've got Missouri coming up this weekend. And Missouri, I didn't see the final score last night, but Missouri was taking it to Auburn. Malachi Moreno, who hit the winning basket, had 4 fouls with about 8 minutes to go in the game. Everything about last night was heartbreaking. So, we've got to, is it okay? Here's the Fox Business Report. That was not 33 seconds. That was not 33 seconds.
No, your clip was 33. I'm sorry. The whole thing was
Okay. First of all, what idiot put that together? Like, that's not you.
The other part's on me. Yeah.
You told me 33 seconds.
I had your little clip. I had that little clip right there. That was 30. I'm sorry.
What was 30?
Like the beginning of the tail before he shot it. I'm sorry. I need to go. Let me go get my glasses.
Okay. Well.
We're good. How are you? Well, no, I need not readers. Haggai. That made me laugh though. That didn't make me laugh though.
Which sucks because Matt McMahon is a great coach. This is the first time he's been given the budget to get a legitimate roster, and he loses an All-American the day before conference play. I don't think the Matt McMahon era is over with yet. The way Verge Osbury said it was, if they don't make the NCAA tournament this year, we're going to have to reevaluate. I think a lot is going to be based on what happens when DJ Thomas comes back. He had 2 roster players when he got here. Like it's been such a slow build and a slow burn with no freaking budget. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and head back to the traffic center real quick. We know about the accident on it's right there at the 10-110 split. It's on the 110 side of the 10-110 split. The report that I'm showing is that it's a multiple vehicle accident. At least 3 cars involved in the accident. At least one of those cars is overturned or on its side right now. Still waiting for confirmation on if there's injuries involved in that accident. But it is causing some pretty major delays on I-10 westbound. As you make your way through your morning drive, though, you might want to reevaluate if you're heading downtown, if you're heading points west, hopping off the interstate and taking a different route to come in. If you're coming in from, let's say, Denham Springs, you might just want to take Florida Boulevard the whole way in. It's slow going on 12 westbound already. Your normal delays on 12 westbound. But once you get past the 10-12 merge, it slows down to a crawl by about College Drive and will stay at said crawl all the way through the split. So alternate routes certainly recommended to start off your morning. By the way, if you're coming in from Ascension Parish, you're good until the split, but you might want to hop off before the split as well, because between the split and College, that's where it's going to come to a stop. Coming back across from westbound into Baton Rouge, or eastbound into Baton Rouge from the west side, we are looking good. Meanwhile, surface streets, there's one accident to look out for right now, and that is Old Hammond at Florida. That doesn't make sense at all. Old Hammond at Florida. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Hold on. If you go all the way up to like the end of Old Hammond is way like really, really close to Denham Springs. That end of Old Hammond would be Old Hammond at Florida. Okay. That makes a little more sense. Yeah, they're trust me on this one. No, not your bubble. Not anybody's bubble, really. But Old Hammond in Florida is being worked. Let's talk basketball. I don't want to do here. We're not starting Cup and Tech Gumbo yet, but Haggai's in the house. He's a basketball guy. I'm a basketball guy.
I still have eligibility.
You.
They needed some help last night.
They did. Can you run the point?
I'm
run the point night last night.
I'm a wing shooter. Maybe I can play the three.
They've got McMillan. McMillan's doing just fine. You need someone who could distribute. I can distribute. That's my game.
I'm a baseline shooter.
All right. You said something as we went into break, and it's just stuck in my head now. Go ahead, say it again on there. Last night was
the end of the Matt McMahon era.
I fear you're right. Because first of all, we don't know what a great coach we have in town, because I don't think enough people pay attention to basketball. They just see the final score and that's it.
Well, he's still being held comparison to Will Wade.
Correct.
And he's never going to get out of that shadow until he actually starts winning something. Correct. And they've not given him the resources. Nobody at this point cares about men's basketball anymore. Haven't in a long time. And finally he gets some resources, and then the point guard gets hurt. And, but everyone's.
Let's not forget, DJ Thomas getting hurt is not the first injury of the season. We lost Jalen Reed already, too.
Absolutely.
So when you look at a box score at the end of a night like last night, you see only 8 guys played. There's reason for that, is we don't have the depth. That box score of 8 should be 10.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, you just to not have your guys in a position to be behind the guy who caught the ball, so he can't put up that shot the way he did. You were in front of him.
So I was listening on the radio. I was at the gym, late trip to the gym last night, so I was listening on the radio. I don't know how they were positioned to start that off with. So it sounded like Miller. The way Chris Blair, by the way, that was Chris Blair and John Brady on the call from the LSU Sports Radio Network. The way Blair was describing it, it's Miller was fronting him,
He was fronting him and mistimed his jump so that he jumped too soon. The ball goes over Miller's head. The guy catches it, turns, and shoots the Christian Laettner type shot and ends the game.
But it wasn't just – so Moreno was up front. As Blair described it last night, you had Oweh was closer to the basket, and he was the one drawing the attention.
The bigger problem is you blew an 18-point lead in the second half.
Correct. Which, by the way, if you were a true LSU basketball fan and you know the history of the series between LSU and Kentucky, that's not even close to the worst.
No,
but 1994, LSU blew a 31-point halftime lead to Kentucky, and that was with Coach Dale Brown.
Yes,
and he's the greatest to ever do it at LSU. So.
But you blow an 18-point lead in the second half. I mean, when you were in control of the game for 30 of the 40 minutes, and then to not stop play, not call timeout, sit everybody down, take a breather.
I will agree with that. I mismanaged timeouts. I will agree with that. Yes.
And that's the problem that for those who do check into the games and see, I mean, I watched it on TV. I wasn't about to go, actually make the effort to go because I didn't want to be disappointed. I was surprised it was as close, or that LSU had the lead that they did. And, I was like, oh, wow, this is, and then, oh, here it goes. Oh, here it goes.
If you go back to the pregame interview, which I value, we are super spoiled here in Baton Rouge with the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Right.
The insight that John Brady gives before the game is beyond compare. That guy, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason, okay? The insight, when he does the recipe for success or the keys to the game, whatever, I think it's called the recipe for success. Anyway, when he does that before the game, pay attention because it's going to happen. But then Chris Blair interviews the head coach, and when he's talking to Matt McMahon last night, Matt McMahon said our emphasis tonight is on the first 15 minutes, which is exactly what Sean Brady said the segment before that. First 15 minutes, you have to get out and establish a lead. And Haggai, what we saw last night was something different than what we've seen in the previous games. Last night, they got out to that lead. They established that lead. They were up by 16 at halftime, pushed up to 18 in the second half, and then it became like the Saints of the late 80s running a prevent defense.
Yep.
Then it became, oh, my God, how do we not lose? It became a matter of like stepping in. I don't know. I'll just use a football reference. I'm going to use I just use a football reference. I'm going to use a baseball reference. It became a matter of stepping into the batter's box and trying not to strike out. And there was a zero confidence, zero swag with that team last night in the second half.
They kept stepping on the rake, is what they were doing, and it just they couldn't get out of their own way. They would make a shot and then give up two.
Yeah. Yep. And they give up two and then hit a three.
Yeah.
So it just, I'm not done with this team yet. I believe once DJ Thomas comes back, they can go on a run and steal a few.
If.
Also true. 6:30, here's news.
I mean, you're assuming he's going to be able to come back at some point.
Well, he was supposed to be back for last night.
The day-by-day thing that they keep talking about keeps going further and further and further, and that's not a recipe for success.
And oh, by the way, Mosley only got 4 minutes last night. That's the one thing McMahon said before the game that didn't come to fruition. He said we're getting Mosley in the game a lot more. He's growing in confidence in practice. He's getting his feet underneath him. So
that's what it was, Brian. I had a segment highlighted, and that's the number I'm going to get my glasses as soon as we get out of ABC.
You had a segment highlight.
In Adobe, how you can highlight that part, it says, well, this part is 30-something.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me go get my glasses.
I'm Colleen Craig.
All right.
Talk 27.3 Customers Newsroom. You need to sign up or renew your health insurance through healthcare.gov. You have until midnight tonight to do so. Mike Berto, a healthcare economist with Louisiana Blue, says
Mike Berto from Morgan City, Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah, he's.
Y'all have like a club.
Well, you know, when you're within that 2-year period, I mean, you know everybody the year or two older than you, and I mean, yeah, Mike and Troy Vila were in the same class together. So,
I mean, like, I need to get with some people about putting together a St. Paul's alumni Baton Rouge chapter. Because I'm finding more and more of us. One of us is about to be in some serious trouble. Senator McMath. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything illegal, but it's shady as shit having a getting furniture contracts from the state. I need to hear his side of the story, though. I shouldn't judge. I've heard one side of the story. That's all.
behind these statistics is a woman or girl injured by this dangerous, illegal, and medically unsupervised distribution and use of abortion pills.
Democrats like Washington Senator Patty Murray say Republicans like Murrow are trying to
furniture
take vital
contracts from the
healthcare
state.
away from
Millions of women around the world use mifepristone safely every year.
I'm Jeff Lemon.
A memorial service takes place today for the former Louisiana State Senator Robert Kostelka, who passed away Saturday at the age of 92. House member Francis Thompson served alongside Senator Kostelka.
He wanted to do everything he could to build this state to the place he wanted it to be.
Top of the second.
Now a check on your drive from the TAC 107
Did you see that one?
Traffic Center.
Life should be getting better for drivers on westbound I-10 soon. Our accident on the northbound 110 just past the split has now cleared after blocking multiple lanes for about 30-45 minutes. So all that is back open, all vehicles are gone, and things are improving. We are seeing an I-10 back at one point.
That's so wrong.
Yeah, on a lot of levels.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our blinds are DIY friendly, guaranteed to fit, and always cheaper than big box stores. Blindster.com.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
This is Adrian Holly with Complete Windows, your window and door at door.
So there were two stories that, one of the one about, shit, come on, my stupid computer's not pulling things up right now. The AI police report hallucinations. There's this out in Utah, somewhere near, right outside of Salt Lake City, body cam footage. There's some AI software that will write a report based upon everything that happened. That the video, it watches the video and writes a report.
Mm-hmm.
In the incident, the police officer in the car is the Disney song from Frog and Prince and the Frog. So the AI, the Disney,
whole other conversation.
But the AI captures that, and then the report says the police officer turned into a frog.
Let's start there.
I brought this up to Franz yesterday at Rotary because it's really bad.
Franz was at Rotary?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him there.
Anyway, it was his birthday because he was at the birthday table.
I knew it was his birthday.
Yeah, the day before yesterday. He had a Verizon phone and he was showing me that it wouldn't work. And I hadn't heard yet that had the massive outage. Yeah. But they're still not saying why.
No, only that it's fixed.
Yeah. So now that you got the glasses, you're going to pick my name for that king cake?
Oh. Yeah.
So come on and tickety check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Talk 107.3 FM WPRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Don't forget over at talk1073.com. Right now, we're giving away a king cake every week. We actually, this will be every Thursday. So if you don't win this week, sign back up again next week. We're going to do it again next week. We're going to do it every week, all the way up until Mardi Gras Day, which is what, a month, like literally a month from now. So month and a day. The good folks over at Mathern, specifically Mathern's at Kenilworth. We're giving you a king cake over there. Mathern's king cake over the Mathern's on Kenilworth. All you got to do is go to talk1073.com and sign up to be entered to win right there. We are going to pull for that first one by the end of the show today. In fact, during the last segment of the show today, we're going to go ahead and do that. Hey, while I'm telling you about Mathern's, want to let you know the deals that roll through over the app, they roll over like every week, every 10 days, however long they want to go. They've got a special on DiGiorno pizzas right now. I know it's king cake season, and I'm supposed to be talking about king cakes and whatnot, but every once in a while they catch my eye, and this week it did catch my eye to be sure. Yeah, DiGiorno pizzas are like $2.99 right now. Awesome deal. You gotta have the app, right? Download the Mathern's Rewards app, build out your grocery list. It does the coupons automatically. It builds up cash towards more groceries automatically. Download the Mathern's app today. All you gotta do is scan it once you're in there. You're good to go. The app is good at all three locations: downtown on 3rd Street, Nichols and Gateway Shopping Center, or right there on Highland, just west of Kenilworth. All right, time for a cup of tech gumbo. Let's roll.
It's time for a cup of tech gumbo. Haggai Davis talks technology news using language even Brian can understand.
You just don't get it. I don't have your head for science, so I'm not going to be able to help much.
For a full serving, check out Tech Gumbo, Saturdays at 11 a.m. and Sundays at 4 p.m.
We got 30 years worth of files. Right in this computer. They're going to bring you down.
A cup of Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3.
I'm sorry. Wrong password.
All right, Haggai. Yeah, I'm calmed down. Huh?
All right.
I get hot about basketball. Well, first of all, being a basketball guy in a football town, I'm always going to feel out of place, right? I love football. I do love football, but basketball was my first love, always will be. So
It's okay, Brian.
I know. We got a good guy. We got a good guy here. If given the tools, if we can make a few more damn strong offers out there, we can see the same results we saw with the last guy.
I'm just saying.
He's just not a prick to people. That's the only difference.
I still got eligibility, Coach. Give me a call.
You don't have knees or a back, but you've got eligibility.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I can use my walker getting up and down the court. I mean, it's a slow break kind of basketball. Sure.
Yeah. Well, no, I run the floor like the OJ Bronco chase. I mean, it's not a pretty picture.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got a lot of tech to talk about today. AI generated police reports. This is where we've got to start. This is no, I'm sorry. We got to start with what's in the news. It's just very quick, very simple. 60 seconds on this. Verizon had 200,000 people report they were out yesterday. They have fixed the problem, but did they say what the problem was?
No, they have yet to say what's happened. And yes, it was coast to coast. It was most of the day. It was into like 10 o'clock last night before they said, okay, all is good now. We're working again.
Yeah. And by the way, all you Verizon people that made fun of us AT&T people when we had our outage a few months ago, yeah,
on
that.
Said it before. Every one of these telecom companies are amazing. They are all great. They do unbelievable service, and they all suck.
Yeah. What? Because
it just depends on what's happening at that given moment.
There is zero margin for error. And I expect, and I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation, I should be up and running 24/7. There should never be a time where I can't pick up my phone and call somebody, or I can't pick up my phone and email or text.
And it doesn't matter whether it's AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile for cellular service, or any one of the the Cox AT&T for internet access, or any one of the ISPs around. They are all amazing, doing unbelievably difficult work.
Yeah.
And they are all great at what they do. And they really are great. And they all suck.
Yeah.
Simultaneously, it just depends on what's happening at the given moment where you're standing and what's going on with the network around you.
There are 365 days in a year, 24 hours in a day. That's 8,760 hours in a year. If I'm up and running 8,754 hours, I am pissed.
Absolutely.
When I say it that way, doesn't it sound unreasonable?
Because you're expecting the 0.99999 uptime.
Yeah.
Which you're paying for, about 95% uptime. Because if you were going to pay for the 0.9999, the 5 nines of downtime, you would be paying a lot more than what you're paying now for all of your telecommunication services.
Thing is, though, you're never going to get that.
Oh, you can't.
No, things break. Things go wrong.
But
it happens.
But if you were paying for the 3 nines, the 5 nines, whatever nines, how many nines you wanted on as far as uptime, the level of commitment from that telecom carrier is going to be so much more expensive. I mean, there are companies who do pay for the multiple nines, as they call it, and if there is any kind of an outage, then those companies write checks back to your clients.
Yeah.
But since for $30 a month for your wireless phone, if you're expecting 24/7 and zero downtime, you're not paying enough for that.
Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it's all automated. It all runs like the whole thing. There's no Ernestine, the telephone operator, anymore.
Correct.
How you like that pull?
I loved it.
That's a deep SNL cut right there.
Boy, you went way back. The old
right
punch
there.
board.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Was it Lily Tomlin's character?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Let's get back on track here. Headline: Cops forced to explain why AI-generated police report claimed officer transformed into frog. That's a real headline.
Isn't it, though?
And you think it's an AI-generated headline, but no, that's real.
Nope, that was real. So in a city in the suburbs of Salt Lake City, a police officer wearing a body cam had a traffic stop, went up to the car, was talking to the person driving the car, and apparently a song from The Princess and the Frog was playing in the background. The AI, there's a software company that puts out this what's the name of that company? Draft One is the name of this company. They write the reports for the police officers based upon what was on that body cam footage. Well, the AI caught that song and had a hallucination, and in the report said that the police officer turned into a frog.
Okay. So much to unpack here.
Oh, it's a big problem.
Can we start with the police officer who's playing Disney soundtracks on there?
Well, no, this wasn't the police officer playing the music. This was in the person's car that they stopped.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
And so you've got this police report. Now, could you imagine being the defense attorney sitting in the court and this police report is being read and it talks about the officer being turned into the frog, and you're looking at the officer who's in the courtroom and you're saying, Your Honor, that doesn't look like a frog to me. This report must be wrong. So we're going to throw it all out, right? And I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on radio. That's Franz.
Though. Yeah.
I brought this up to Franz, and he was just amazed that, we're still using any kind of AI in any kind of police reports, because you can't depend upon these reports. If you're not going to go back and edit, if you're not going to go back and verify everything that the report generated, then you've got a big problem.
I'm trying to think what song from Princess of the Frog actually talks about a frog.
I didn't.
It's not Almost There. That's the big one. Was Almost There.
I didn't see the movie, so I don't know.
I don't know.
And you would think I would have watched it because it's New Orleans, but
the little lightning bug sings about Evangeline. That's not about a frog. I shouldn't get stuck on that. That's not the point of the topic. It's trying to run back to Disney soundtrack in my head. So let's, like you said, you started with Franz asking, is this, how quickly does that get thrown out? I would think pretty darn quickly.
Oh yeah. I mean, a first-year law student gets that thrown out.
But secondly, wouldn't an AI police report still require some level of oversight by the officer who was wearing the body cam?
One would think.
That to me.
But if you're not,
I'm not mad at the AI. The AI failed.
Right.
But the person whose job it is to check on the AI failed worse.
This is the problem with using artificial intelligence in the workplace. If you're going to use the tool, but don't go back and edit, go back and verify, read through, look at what the report generates. Because clearly, if the officer who had the report generated for him goes back and reads it, he's going to realize he did not get turned into a frog.
Right.
But the idea is that this artificial intelligence is going to...
Wait, we stop right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We ran long. We got a break. Come back. We'll continue next. We'll come back at 52.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We went a lot longer on Verizon. That's
special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers,
we've been overindulging a little more than usual over the holidays. But now, we're starting the new year off on a healthier note by taking Active Liver supplements from New Nordic every day.
Active Liver contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and clove artichoke extract, all natural ingredients that help protect the liver so that it can protect you from toxins. It's like giving my body a daily detox. I've never felt better, and my energy is through the roof.
And my doctor is already impressed with how much better my numbers are looking.
Yeah, Troy, that's funny. Imagine if the police report had and the driver had something from NWA or Wu-Tang Clan playing, what the officer might have turned into.
I'm good.
Say.
Gets a promotion over here. Now she's just throwing things around.
I found out some unfortunate news about my mama last night. So my brain, I'm gonna get back in the game, y'all.
Okay.
It's okay. Life happens. You just got.
What's the unfortunate news?
Her cancer's back.
Oh, cancer of
breast. Yeah. And I don't know, I felt thrown off, if that makes sense.
It does. Stage?
One. So I'm trying to get her not to freak out. It's gonna be all right. It was stage 1 last time she had it, and she went back into remission. I said, "Mama, it's okay. It's okay. It's stage 1," which it's never good. But I'm like, Mama,
what did she do to get her in remission last time?
She did the radiation treatments, and like every time she would go, she would say it would burn. It would make her tired, and she had to do the pills for like 5 years. You know how you have to take that medicine. And so they're probably going to have her take the medicines again for the next 5 years. And I'm like, Mama, the good news is you're still with me. You're still here. And she's like, I know. And I said, but Mama, it's stage 1. It's not like we're talking stage 4. We got to bring in hospice and
going through all kind of
it
stuff.
It makes me nervous a little bit because they started with me because it runs in the family. I go in every year for like the lady appointments, and then they do a mammogram every year just because they're like, well, it runs in the family, you know. And really, I'm too young for that, but I'd rather be cautious than not.
Sure. So the other big story, Apple and Google's going to be the artificial intelligence for Apple's Siri.
Google is?
Yes. Instead of Apple creating their own AI, they've signed a multi-year deal to use Google Gemini.
Okay.
There's that, and then there's Cloudflare versus Italy. There's some regulator in Italy who's trying to protect a couple of soccer teams from people stealing their live streams of the soccer matches. And so this one independent regulator is choose to hold everything. No, this Cloudflare is just, oh, we'll pull out of Italy and Italy will fall off the internet.
652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Cup of Tech Gumbo with Haggai Davis rolling right along. Haggai, a couple more questions about the AI generated police report. And I apologize, I cut you off mid-sentence heading into break, but we were
been doing this long enough with you.
Yeah, that was a hard break. So the follow-up questions I have, we talked about the legal aspect and the oversight aspect. But what I'm curious about is this like how many of these reports are out there that hadn't been seen? Like where the AI hallucination wasn't enough to make you realize it was an AI hallucination?
That's a great question. And there's no way to know because how many reports get written daily just by police officers who are typing them out themselves. Mm-hmm. As opposed to those who are just letting this AI run these reports and not paying any attention to them. I mean, if you're in a normal day, let's say hypothetically, if the police was doing 10 reports,
and
they were all AI generated, and you have, 10,000 police officers across the country using this software. Well, I mean, do the math.
Right.
How many reports are not being read after they're generated? That's a great question, and it brings a lot of questions into how much we depend upon the legal system to be accurate, because you don't want somebody who is innocent and have AI throw a few details into the report it makes them guilty. The same way you don't want somebody guilty, have the AI leave a few things out and make them innocent.
Right.
And so that's where the questions in my mind, the non-legal, not legally trained, not an attorney, any of that kind of stuff. That's what I see.
So knowing now that if you're running an AI police report off of body cam footage, I'm just going to throw this out there and we're going to move on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's a crime scene? And we know that the body cam footage picks up the audio as well, and the AI now uses the audio, which, by the way, the number of people who suggested what song from the soundtrack it was, thank y'all for texting me. That's awesome. When We're Human was likely the name of the song. So I'm not even familiar with that one. Anyway, what's the likelihood that you have a crime scene, and when the police officer is on the crime scene, they're watching in the background an episode of Law & Order SVU, and now you're going to convolute.
Oh,
this is the kind of thing that can slip under the radar.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you've got, if you've got a crime scene here and talking about a different crime scene in the background, I know it sounds stupid, but so does the Princess and the Frog being entered into the equation.
CSI's in constant, Law and Order, any one of them, they're always in the loop. And you walk in, and that's not as far-fetched of an idea.
No, that said that I'm glad you're with me on this. It's very, very possible.
It's just like with anything else with artificial intelligence. It's a great tool, but it's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go back and edit, read, verify, make sure what the tool is generating is right.
Speaking of, we're in pivot here. Speaking of, good on Apple for recognizing someone else can do something better. If you're getting the AI tool right, Apple's going to just hang it up on their own AI and let Google take over.
This is stunning to me that Apple, for as long as Apple has been making their own hardware and making all of their own software, they have now, for the first time ever, said, yeah, we can't do that. We're
awesome.
Apple has signed a multi-year agreement with Google. So now Google Gemini will be the back end for everything Siri.
Okay.
And yes, that means Siri's now going to be a viable alternative because instead of the joke that it has always been, but for Apple to just run up the white flag and say, oh yeah, these LLMs, that's too hard for us. We can't do that. There's so many of these artificial intelligence entities out there to where Apple couldn't come up with it on their own. They just said, fine. Okay.
Wait. You're looking at the stories of reason to rip on Apple?
Yes. Apple.
Oh, no.
For the first time ever, Apple is saying, we can't do that. We're going to let somebody else's software be native on our system.
No, for the first time in forever is a song from Frozen, not Princess and the Frog.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. Got my Disney
call
cross.
back right there.
Yeah.
But no, I think there's something to be said for having the humility, being humble and saying, this is something that somebody else does better. We're going to go ahead and use theirs.
I'm glad I'm an Apple iPhone guy. I'm glad that it will start working better.
Right.
Instead of having to go to the Gemini app on my iPhone, now Siri can do a better job. That's great. But it's just stunning to me that Apple couldn't do it on their own. For the first time ever, they've said, yes, we can't do that. We're going to let somebody else do it for us.
I hope this is a trend that continues throughout the entire world. We live in a world where everyone is an expert on everything. If you watch the news and nobody knows how to do their job, I know how to do my job, everybody else's job better than they do. Okay? Nobody knows how to coach basketball. Nobody knows how to predict the weather. Nobody knows, if you watch court TV, every lawyer and every judge gets it wrong. Like everywhere we turn, all through COVID, we all knew better than doctors. Like it just everything. We're all experts and everybody else is an idiot, a moron. Any kind of education or training they have is useless because we all know better. Apple's the first one to step up and say, you know what? I don't know everything.
You're a $4 trillion company in Apple, and you can hire 1,000 people who know how to build these large language models. And should be able to do it themselves, and they couldn't. They tried and they kept screwing it up, and so they for the first time ever, Apple has said, "Okay, we can't do that. We're going to have to use Google."
You are actively rooting for hubris to rule the day.
No, I'm stunned at at Apple for the first time, not having the hubris to say, okay, we're gonna have to outsource this.
Yeah.
And that's something they've never ever done before.
I hope this is a trend. I hope this is a trend. Specialization is the key to a strong economy.
This just means now Google is on that much more of everything.
That's a whole other topic, and one that you and I are going to run with real soon, because that is a big old topic too. But for now, though, you can catch a full serving of that Gumbo Saturdays and Sundays right here, and of course everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. He's Haggai Davis. Always appreciate the time.
Thanks, Brian.
Here comes news.
Yeah, before it was just, you had to go on your Google phone, your Android operating system. That was all Google. Now on your iPhone and on your Android phone, it's going to be all Google. So Google is going to now own everything on everybody's smartphones.
Yeah, it's a way bigger topic too. We need to. That's.
So how does that work then with Android, who has primarily been using Google?
No. Android was created by Google.
Yeah.
So yes. So Android is a Google thing.
Yeah.
And everything Android is using the whole Google suite.
Mm-hmm.
So now iPhone made by Apple is going to have Google indexing everything on your iPhone too.
Okay.
So the only thing that's not 100% indexing by Google is your Windows PC.
Okay.
Because even on your Mac, you're still going to now have Google in the background.
Right.
Now, if you have Chrome, you have Google on your Windows phone.
What about Alexa?
Well, that's Amazon.
Right.
They have their own LLM.
Yeah.
They have their own artificial intelligence.
But eventually, wouldn't Google just take over that too?
No. Amazon's not going to relinquish. No, Amazon wants to sell you Amazon products and Amazon links. Like, they're not going to relinquish that to Google at all.
And in Amazon Web Service, AWS is bigger than Google. So, I mean, Amazon.
Hard to believe, but yes.
It's amazing how big AWS is.
I mean, it could have been worse. They could have gone wrong.
God. I don't understand how people are not in jail yet over Grok.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, there's enough countries who are starting to. I saw multiple, like there's France, there's Indonesia, Malaysia. There's like 4 or 5 countries right now that are investigating Grok because of all of the
inaccuracies
or
straight up lies,
sexual
wait, what?
videos.
Hang on. This happened to me the other day. I was on Twitter and I went to pull up a video. This was crazy, Haggai. I went to I just pulled up like a random video. Like, let's say show me a video. And there's nothing in my there's Gordy. Is that Gordy talking to Jacques? All right. So there's Gordy talking to Jacques. And this wasn't the video I was watching. I was watching something else. And I was going to take a nap. And so I fell asleep while the video was running. When I woke up, straight up porn was running.
Mm-hmm.
And because it doesn't replay the video, it rolls over something else.
Yeah. And
I don't know how many videos rolled through before getting to that. I don't know what Twitter believes are the pieces parts to get me there, but I'm not. There you go. Roll over to another video. That's Corey Johnson. Mm-hmm. But there's Scott Van Pelt. Okay, so clearly my feed is not set for whatever ended up there. Who was that?
The Carpenters. Karen Carpenter.
Wow. Why would that be in my feed? Candace Jones has lost her mind, by the way. They absolutely can play sports.
Brian, talk about the king cakes here. We only have like 9 entries so far, which is good.
Ooh. 8 of them are me.
They're all you, Haggai.
Okay, this knows me on the algorithm. That's me right there. Anyway, I woke up and it was like straight up porn. And so my first question is, how did it get there? My second question is that in my phone now? Okay. All right. How? I gotta go back and scrub to see what's like.
That's Twitter. That's what Twitter is.
Amazing.
That's what Musk has done to Twitter.
My interactions aren't down though. Like it's the usership of it is my interactions. I get my numbers are where they're supposed to be as far as who I'm reaching, or not where I'm reaching, but the number, the volume. 7:05 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 39 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. And, of course, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio. Before we get to top stories and trending, let me remind you about 180 Pros. 180pros.com is the website. 330-2200 is the phone number. Of course, that's 225. And I love that it's 225 because one of the best things about 180 Pros is the way they build out relationships. They're not your IT provider. They're your IT partner. Okay? That means a lot. They base their success off of your success. When you have a partner, you get someone you can collaborate with, lean on a little bit, someone that isn't just there to, the network's down and then they fix it. No, it's so much deeper than that. They want to make sure you are optimized from start to finish to make sure that everything on your end frees you up to do everything else. Of course, they've got all the cybersecurity technology as well. Learn more at 180pros.com, 180pros.com. Yeah, stay in front, stay out in front, stay 3 steps out in front on the cybersecurity front. That's a huge, huge part of what they do, which, of course, learn more at 180pros.com. All right, also, before we get you to top stories and trending, let me remind you right now, we're giving away a king cake every week. Sign up at talk1073.com over on our website. If you go to talk1073.com, you will see it right there on the homepage. We got the flipper up there. The awesome folks over Kenilworth swung by last week, said, hey, y'all want to give away some king cakes? And they said, yes, we would love to give away some king cakes. Would you mind setting it up to where folks go to the Matherns on Kenilworth? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, because that's the mother lode right there. All the Matherns king cakes you'll find. It's Carnival at Kenilworth is the king cake giveaway. Carnival at Kenilworth. The folks at Matherns, if you sign up over at talk1073.com, we're going to pick a winner. It's going to be every Thursday. We're going to pick a winner at the end of the show today, and then let the folks over at Matherns at Kenilworth know. And then you just swing by the Matherns at Kenilworth to pick up your king cake. It is that simple. Sign up right now at talk1073.com. All right, time for top stories and trending. Let's roll.
It's what the 225 is waking up to.
Hey, wake up!
Baton Rouge Metro Airport presents top stories and trending.
Something is going on here.
Right now on Talk 107.3.
We're going to start off with our weather this morning. You heard the forecast on the way in. I just kind of reiterated a little bit. It is going to be colder today and then possibly freezing tonight. We could see temps touch freezing here in Baton Rouge. Surrounding areas, particularly north of us, will hit that mark to be sure. Nationwide, they're looking at fronts moving, making their way across from west to east. I don't think we're seeing as much from that as the rest of the country. But if you're looking at the overnights here, 32 degrees is very, very much possible. Not for any extended period of time, just a couple of hours at most.
Number 4.
Absolutely no one is shocked, as California Governor Gavin Newsom said on social media that he was denying Louisiana's extradition request for a California doctor who had been indicted in this state, for allegedly mailing abortion drugs to someone in St. Tammany Parish. Remy Coito is accused of violating Louisiana's criminal abortion law by means of those mail order drugs.
Number 3.
A possible skull was found at the Montesano Breck Park on Greenwell Street. East Baton Rouge Coroner's Office made this announcement yesterday. Just the skull, not the rest of the skeleton. It's been sent over to the LSU's Faces Lab for analysis.
Number 2.
Big news for Port Fourchon, as a supermajority of 36 Louisiana senators has adopted a resolution backing Argent LNG's proposed 25 million ton per year export terminal. That's a huge project that's going to bring with it the potential to generate billions in economic activity, thousands of construction jobs, numerous long-term employment as well, while strengthening Louisiana's role as a global LNG hub.
Number 1.
Former chief administrative officer of the Capital Area Transit System has been arrested alongside an independent contractor on theft and criminal conspiracy charges. Perlina Thomas would be the former CEO. She was indicted for criminal conspiracy, theft of over $25,000, prohibited use of public funds, and malfeasance in office. Jerian J. Kolar was booked for the charges of criminal conspiracy and theft of over $25,000. The indictment was filed by Attorney General Liz Murrell. She's had a busy week this week. We need to get her on. The indictment was filed by Liz Murrell. Says Thomas, Kolar, and one other person allegedly stole the $25,000 somewhere between August of 2021 and February of 2022.
Top stories are in the books. Now let's check in on what's trending.
What you got?
Officials in Minneapolis are urging for calm after a second federal agent shot someone in the span of a week. The Department of Homeland Security says the person who was injured is an undocumented Venezuelan national who was shot in the leg out of self-defense.
So the self-defense was there were a number of them coming at him with shovels and broomsticks. Probably not the most effective way to try and fight ICE, but that's kind of how this played out. So shot in the leg. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nearly 200,000 Verizon customers across the country reported cell service outages on Wednesday morning.
We talked about that a little bit in the Cup of Tech Gumbo right there. Haggai says, well, as if you're a Verizon customer, you already know you're back up and running, but no explanation for what happened.
It was chaotic yesterday. And then I'm driving home, and normally I would put on Amazon or Spotify music, driving home. Nope. Have to drive in silence. SOS mode activated. I know. When you live on technology and it just poofs, you got problems.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have to say it, but we're here.
Right.
You could have tuned in to Eagle 98.1,
100.7 the Tiger,
104.5 ESPN, or right here at Talk 107.3 FM. We're here for you.
Love it, Brian.
When Verizon craps out, we're here for you.
Love it. Okay, this one has me just rolling. The St. Louis Department of Health is begging people to stop posting fake monkey pictures while they try to find some real escape monkeys, because it's gotten too hard to tell which reports are legit.
I don't know where the escape monkeys came from, okay? But grabbing this one from KSDK out of St. Louis. All right. Monkeys, memes, and mysteries.
What?
Did St. Louis viral primates ever really exist? So this is where the story has gone over the last 24 hours, Brie Lynn, is that nearly a week after reports of vervet monkeys roaming in North St. Louis first surfaced, the city is still obsessed with the monkey mystery. What began as neighborhood sightings quickly exploded into a viral phenomenon, spawning memes, late-night jokes, and even chocolate treats. But one central question remains unanswered. Were the monkeys ever real?
So they were never real, possibly?
So the Department of Health, St. Louis Department of Health, has been dispatching based off of the original report. They didn't know where the monkeys came from either. They just saw the pictures of the monkeys like in a park, in a neighborhood, whatever. Yeah. Like, go get out to the neighborhood. Like, go get out to the neighborhood. Like, there's monkeys in CCL. Go get them. Like, if it were a Baton Rouge thing, right?
Yeah.
But no.
So this whole time,
we don't know.
The internet could have started this whole thing.
Right. We could be talking about chasing fake monkeys.
God. Can you imagine a monkey playing poker at the Gateway Arch? Just people sending photos.
Yeah, totally could.
What is going on? So the whole time, this thing could have been fake all
Possibly.
Wow.
Yeah. The latest quote from the Department of Health says this could absolutely look real and still be fake.
I love it. This is going to turn into Highlighting the best moments of 2026.
Right off the blocks. Before we're done with January, we have one of the top moments of 2026 with the fake monkeys. In St. Louis, of all places.
Right.
Go by, get yourself some Sugar Fire Barbecue.
Right. Get you some barbecue.
Unpaid endorsement for Sugar Fire Barbecue right there. I've been to St. Louis twice in my life. I've been to Sugar Fire both times. It's awesome.
I'm using this story tonight on the night show. I love it. Fake monkeys.
Nope.
Have at it.
All right. 7:14, Talk 107.3 FM. We're running a little bit long. We're going to talk education in just a little bit. Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students joins us next. Oh. What you say, Don? You all right?
Ooh, I would love some. Yeah.
You good?
I'm good. So it's going to be interesting today.
Why?
Just with the recent acts of violence.
Oh, last weekend?
Regarding
Thursday to Sunday? 12 shootings?
Never in my 32 years of law enforcement do I recall a funeral service offering discounts.
We talked about that in Legally Served yesterday.
Let's bring it up again.
Okay.
Because of the fact.
You know I'm not going to be serious about it, right? You know there's going to be jokes.
No.
Okay.
But it's sad because it's not like 80 and 90-year-old people or older.
Right.
And then And then what I like to do is bring up Beyond Bars, the website, and the request.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for answers. Well,
no, I understand.
You know, I'm just. Oh. This weather needs to decide what it wants.
I have a feeling we're about to get an answer from the weather, and anybody remember LSU versus Georgia in 1998? I know I'm rolling back the clock here, but Quincy Carter came in, and it was domination. Champ Bailey was all over the field, offense, defense, and special teams in that game. Why am I talking about Champ Bailey in 2026? I'm glad you asked that question. Coming out tomorrow is a new movie called Signing Tony Raymond. Pro Football Hall of Famer Champ Bailey's featured in the new film. He's going to hop on board to talk about it. We're going to get into an NIL discussion. We're going to get into the difference in college football today versus when he was in it. All of it coming your way coming up at 8:40 this morning. Right now, though, we turn to our schools. We turn to the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. We turn to Adonica Duggan, who's on board. Adonica, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well as well. So the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students setting the table for 2026. You want to just go ahead and map out what the year's going to look like for us?
Yeah, if only.
Right.
Kids are back in school. You know, it's been a nice long holiday break. I'm sure that many parents are excited that kids are back in school, but there's a lot on deck for 2026 in the school board front.
So let's,
it is,
go ahead.
It's an election year,
Mm-hmm.
so our school board is really focused on how they will continue to serve in leadership for so many of them. But, you know, there's just a lot that we've seen at that first board meeting of the year that took place last week, have another board meeting tonight. And they're really starting to tackle some of the big stuff pretty early in the year.
What kind of things are they tackling right now?
Well, you know, last week we saw them take a look at their facilities realignment plan and also their new high school experience. And so they had a $42 million bond sale, and they're really taking what we haven't seen in the past is a really comprehensive look at the offerings of every school So they're doing some deep analysis on, how they are making sure that they have standards that they apply across the city. For if we're building a football field, this is what that football field is going to look like, and really improving the high school experience. They're continuing to make progress on facilities in general. We saw the realignment, and that's painful for communities, but it also hopefully results in better outcomes and better facilities and places for learning for young people.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The other exciting thing that we saw over the break was a real focus on how we're going to pay teachers more. I saw a story that was reported about the superintendent talking about this as an area of focus for the next year, and we'll start to see the budget process roll out. And so it'll be really interesting to see how they reprioritize their resources to make sure that they can retain teacher talent in the classroom, because we know that the most important thing that they can do is get good educators in front of students and continue to do that as we start to see some shifts in the accountability frameworks that the state has.
We're talking with Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. Follow up on that, though, because this is the department could do everything under its power. Do we still need legislative help on this front this year?
They certainly would, welcome additional funding from the state. Always welcome. I think the thing that the local school board can do is take a look at how they are spending their resources and how that is aligned with prioritizing teacher talent. And so for the resources that we get, assuming that nothing changes, how do we better allocate those to make sure that in our most high need schools, you have the quality of educators who can really move the needle, because that's going to become increasingly important as we start to see the bar continue to shift on how we're evaluating schools and what accountability looks like in the state.
We're talking with Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. I want to go back to the recent school board meeting, if we could. If I'm not mistaken, they voted to approve a charter for a Harvest Commons school. What do we need to know about Harvest Commons? Who are they? What do they do?
Harvest Commons is a unique small school. It will be a unique small school. It's based on a farm model, and it provides project-based learning for young people. I think it'll eventually be a K-5, but continuing to add high-quality schools to the city and making sure that every family has a school that fits the needs of different learners and different learning styles, and that we have a robust set of great high-quality options in the city is super important for making sure that we're moving the needle on quality for every child.
So I asked the question as a setup to a follow-up question. Of course, your mind's on the needs of the students. Of course it is, Adonica. I'm thinking over here about the future of agribusiness, though. As we see drop-offs year after year after year, having someone that kind of specializes in this one could be a great redirect for us as a society, like as a community.
Yeah, I think that, for those of us who don't have a green thumb, we're always envious of people, even in our regular everyday lives. We saw during the pandemic so much of, these people taking on hobbies and that sort of thing. But in general, project-based learning around a specific set of outcomes is something that can be really interesting for young people who don't necessarily connect with a traditional curriculum. So this provides an opportunity for kids to have a different style of learning that's focused on meeting their needs. And so I'm really excited to see diverse offerings continue to pop up. And we just have to make sure that they fit the overall needs of the city and that we're locating them effectively and that we're making sure that they are being held to the appropriate standards. And I'm excited to see what Harvest Commons can do.
What's the latest on the Bessie front?
Yeah, so they recently, they had their meetings yesterday, and so they approved, locally, for most important for Baton Rouge listeners, they approved Audubon and Third Future Schools to take over what had been the previously struggling IDEA campuses. And those schools have been on a contract, but they approved a long-term charter for both of those schools. And they are really unique school models that have really shifted what was taking place in those schools. So we're excited to see that we're replacing low-quality school operators in the city with higher-quality school operators and giving students and families a better option.
Audubon Bridge is over in New Orleans. I want to stick here in Baton Rouge if we could. Third Future, doing a little bit of background on them. Let me just ask this open-ended. What sets Third Future apart?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where you're headed. They have a really interesting model that focuses so much of their resources on paying their teachers well. And, that's something that is really noteworthy about the third feature model. They are compensating educators probably among the best in this region, starting salaries of around $70,000 per year. And as we talked about earlier, we know how important a high quality educator is in the classroom, and making sure that you're able to focus your resources on compensating educators well, freeing them up to do the teaching that has to take place in the classroom, and, removing some of the barriers. Third Feature's been successful in doing some turnarounds, and so we're excited to see them continue to have the opportunity to serve kids in Baton Rouge.
Okay. If anybody swerved off the interstate, or maybe they thought they misheard you, give me that starting salary one more time.
Yeah, they are really making sure that they put their money where their mouth is. Starting salaries of around $70,000 per year.
I mean, is there a way they could be a model for like everybody? Because if they show results, if they could show you get the best of the best to create the brightest of the brightest by doing it this way. I mean, this is why we talk about charter schools all the time, Adonica. This is why when you have someone who opens up a path to do something new, this is the importance of the charter school model. I mean, there's other important factors as well, but this is part of the importance of this is we're saying yes to ideas that can work.
Yes. And I think that this is an important part of the conversation. We have to compensate educators in a way that is consistent with the importance of the profession.
Mm-hmm.
And Third Feature has eliminated some of the overhead costs and has been able to do this on a smaller scale. What we're hoping for is that school systems take the learnings from those charter operators and apply them to how they could replicate some of this on a larger scale. That is an important part of charter and innovation, is how do we do this on a larger scale so that it can impact and serve more students?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. We're seeing, we're seeing improvements across the board in public schools, whether you're talking about your traditional public school system or the public charters. We're seeing improvements, but we are still seeing too many of the schools that are at a C, D, or F level, and that's just not serving the students. So this opens the door for that service.
It's a part, absolutely. It's part of a larger strategy, right?
Yeah.
And so charters aren't the answer to every problem. They aren't going to solve everything. We have to have a local school system, a traditional public school system that continues to serve kids well and that is focused on moving the bar for the kids in their care. I think that we have seen some signals of that. I think that the school system has made a lot of progress under Superintendent Cole. I think we'll continue to see some of that progress. But I do think that there are things to learn and that we have to be open to innovation as we, there's an urgency around this problem. Kids don't have forever for us to figure this out. And so they only have the 12 years that they are in the care of their local school system. So we have to be really urgent about making sure that we have a lot of solutions in play to continue to make sure that we are serving the needs while they are there.
I know the word synergy is so overused, but are we finally in a good spot when it comes to the synergy between, say, the superintendent, the school board, and the push for charter schools? Are we finally where we're not viewing some as the enemy?
I mean, I think that what you'll continue to see is that we have declining enrollment for a lot of reasons in traditional public schools and just in schools in general. Families aren't having as many kids. And so we see this contraction of resources.
Yeah.
What I've been really excited about is seeing this school system, the superintendent and his leadership team really focus on the fact that no matter what school a family chooses in Baton Rouge, it is our responsibility to work cooperatively with the operators, with the schools, to make sure that every school is as good as it can be. And I think that, there are always going to be resource challenges, but if we as the adults in the systems are focused on what is best for young people, not what is best for me and my organization, not, how I'm focused on protecting my little fiefdom,
right,
we'll continue to see improvement.
Which brings us around to 2026 is an election year. If I'm not mistaken, there will be some school board elections this year along with that. So what does the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students role throughout the year this year on that front?
Yeah, there will be 9 school board elections this year. Unlike most places, we turn over the entire school board at once. And so some of the incumbents will likely run again. Some of them may not. We have one school board member who's term limited. And so we'll see some change there. I think it is really important for us to listen to the community, to elevate the concerns of the community, to help people understand where our school board members have been in the past, what their votes have looked like in the past, what their votes, what their policy priorities are for how we move forward as a community, and really just making sure that the community is very aware. we'll, I'm sure, host some candidate forums, continue to, work with our political action committee, and make sure that we are putting in front of the public what the record of the folks who have been there before looks like, and what potential offerings folks who are coming to the table can bring to the table.
We will be following it all year long, to be sure. She's Adonica Duggan from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. As always, thank you so much for the time.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You do the same. We're coming up on 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. You'll find them on Bluebonnet out in real life, but I would send you to neurojust.com to start off with, Neurojust. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression and has been thus far treatment resistant, give Neurojust a look. They do it a little bit differently over there. When I say treatment resistant, I mean the sit down, talk it out therapy maybe isn't taking, or you hate the way you feel on the antidepressants. You don't want to go the prescription drug route anymore. They specialize at Neurojust in TMS therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation. These are magnetic pulses that target the area of the brain that affect mood. It's FDA approved, non-invasive, no side effects, and oh, by the way, insurance picks up the tab. That's how reliable this is. Insurance is picking up the tab. If you want to learn more, visit neurojust.com, Neurojust. Please visit neurojust.com. Prioritize your mental health this year at neurojust.com. Oh. Good morning. Oh.
Thank you for the coffee.
You're so welcome. Did I mess it up?
No, it's actually how I like it. If it's too much cream.
I'm looking like, okay, there's 3 different colors.
I know.
Mess this up?
Let me go ask first.
Yes. I was not getting in trouble.
I wouldn't have cared either way,
Well,
but I prefer the yellow.
That's why I asked.
Coffee's coffee. I say that, but I can't do black coffee.
Well, that's all I do. I'm simple. Even going to the coffee shop.
Really?
Just a black coffee.
Now, when I was dieting, really dieting, I would drink it, but
I think you have to acquire taste.
yeah. My father, he will sit there and drink black coffee all day.
All day.
He'll even have a cup at like 7 o'clock at night for straight.
Problem is, once you acquire the taste, you can't go back.
You can't go back.
I can't. If I put cream in my coffee, well, number one, put cream in my coffee, it's a beeline to the bathroom. Yeah, I don't know if it's a lactose thing or what, but put cream in it. But even if it's almond milk, it's still. Oh no, forget about it. We're done here. No, I don't want the sugar. Yeah.
So we're gonna. Can you go to our website?
Yeah.
When you get time.
The website or the Facebook page?
The website.
Okay.
And then go to get involved.
All right. Oh. Okay. Lincoln. Oh. Sorry. Mapping out my Washington Mardi Gras stuff. And I just got another.
Next week with the next, right?
Yeah, which, by the way, on the 29th, I think it is, I'll be out. Yeah, I'll be out. I'll be doing my show from up there. So you definitely need to go up there. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, the chief may have an issue approving that, but
I don't. Why? Why would they?
what is that?
Sure. Whatever.
Don, your page, is it Capital Region Crimestoppers?
Crimestoppers225.com. Oh, yeah. The Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, let me follow y'all on the tag. Because I'm trying to start tagging more people. I mean, we already do, but I'm trying to do better at it.
After, I'm sure you saw this, but remind me to remind you to kill the mics after, so we can make something up.
Well, now that's all I'm going to think about the whole segment. Kill the mics, please. .36 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, getting you to Crimestoppers in exactly 60 seconds. I need to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Who is Industry Makes? Well, every time we talk about one of those groundbreakings or ribbon cuttings or economic development deals up and down the river, whether we're talking about Hyundai, whether we're talking about something in LNG, no matter what it is, when we're talking about industry in Louisiana, when we're talking about manufacturing in Louisiana, when we're talking about the things that we build, the things that we make, we being the populace of Louisiana, up until Industry Makes, they haven't had a unified voice. Oh, there's been plenty of voices coming at them. Stop this here, knock that off over there. You can't build this, you can't do that. There's been a number of opponent voices or opposing voices along the way. IndustryMakes.org is that unified voice that speaks back up for the people who provide us with jobs, for the people who build the things. And their tagline is, let them make noise, we'll make everything else. It's exactly what they do. IndustryMakes.org. All right, time for Crimestoppers. Let's roll. What's that?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Is there a T-Rex outside?
I didn't.
Is that on the air? No, that's in here.
No, I heard it outside of my headphones.
I know.
I didn't hear anything.
I'm not opening the window. Yes, time for Crimestoppers. Welcoming back to the studio, as always, we got Lieutenant Don Coppola with us. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Brian. Good morning. How are you?
Well, there you go.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
Doing well.
I'm wondering what noise y'all heard and if I need to pick up the phone and make an anonymous complaint.
No, well, so we might need the P3 app because there may or may not be a T-Rex right outside the studio.
It was loud.
You heard the
Yes. And Don Coppola
I didn't
sitting
hear
here.
anything, so I don't.
Don's
And you're
like,
the
all
only
right.
one with the headphones on.
Maybe it was
outside the headphones. It wasn't in my headphones.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just sitting there like nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
No, but like, there's no way Bree Lynn and I heard the same crazy. So like, it had to be real.
I have the P3 Tips app ready to go.
So do I, as always. I have no idea where to start this morning, Don. I feel like you and I were the only two people in Baton Rouge that didn't get shot over the weekend. Can we start there?
Let's start there. It was a horrible weekend.
It was terrible.
Terrible.
So not just a weekend. Back it up. There were 2 domestics on Thursday too.
Yes. Never in my 32-year law enforcement career do I remember hearing a funeral service say, we're going to offer discounts,
bro,
because of the amount of violence.
Yeah.
And we're not talking elderly people here. Not that would make a difference. I'm talking passing due to natural causes because you're elderly. These are young individuals.
Yes.
Our future that are losing their life because of senseless acts of violence, either the victim of or committing.
Yeah.
You will get caught and your life is ruined. Not only your life, your family.
Well, and then there's the retribution, and then there's the retribution for the retribution. And then that's where you have, a punch card at a funeral home. And look, I told you it's going to be difficult not to make fun of this because it is on its face. I love my Mathern's rewards. Okay. I utilize my Mathern's rewards. I love my Walgreens rewards program. I love getting discounts at Smoothie King every time I get a smoothie. I don't need a buy 4, get the 5th one free on coffins.
No.
That is an unheard of place to be.
It is. And I bring this up to say Crimestoppers, Capital Region Crimestoppers has an initiative, the Beyond Bars program, Beyond Bars, Choices and Consequences. You can find that on our website, crimestoppers225.com, under the Get Involved tab, Beyond Bars. And what Beyond Bars is we go into schools, we go into community groups. You have 2 men here, DOC inmates, Rashawn and Dez, and they tell their story.
Yeah.
Dez has been incarcerated on a home invasion charge for 20 years. Rashawn is on a murder charge. He has life without parole. What better way to hear it firsthand from individuals who made that choice, now are suffering the consequences of the decisions they made to get into these young minds to stop before it even happens.
Well, and that's the thing, though, because once it starts happening, that message starts to get lost. You got to get to them before that. And by the way, for those that are listening that aren't familiar with the program, the way Don you've described this to me before, this is not a scared straight thing. This is Dez and Rashawn are, I would say, vulnerable in their approach.
It's
heartfelt.
It is heartfelt. It started last year, back in 2025. We were at a local school in East Baton Rouge Parish over the lunch break. And through the conversation that Desmond and Rashawn were having with these kids, they were going to get their friends and dragging them by the shirt to say, you need to hear what they have to say.
Right.
And the request by the schools over the non-parish area we cover, Brian, they want us back. Before we leave, they are asking, when can you return? Again, it's not a scare straight.
No.
This is real life, real situation to let you know that if you don't do the right thing, report the right thing, you could be in this situation. And not only you suffer, everyone, your loved ones suffer by you not being there.
And by the way, we're still working on getting them on here, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. It's got to happen because it's the way you've described it, the way I've heard about the presentation before. It's very impactful. It's impossible not to pay attention. It's impossible to, like, you would have to be not human to be able to dial out, to turn it off.
And it's about an hour, give or take, and then we have questions. But there has not been one presentation where there's not a line of kids coming to have sidebar conversations with Desmond and Rashawn. And if we feel and the children agree, then we have a follow-up program with them.
Right.
So it's not a one and done. On the website, if you scroll down before the request, your Beyond Bars presentation, there is a link by the Ascension Schools that you can just kind of get a little idea about the program.
I see it.
It's free of charge.
It sends it back to Ascension's Facebook page.
Right. We were in Ascension at one of their local high schools, and they had put together this video, which is really impactful. So yes, no charge. Let us know. We would love to come out, address your community group, your school, whatever it may be, to stop this nonsense that's going on.
Is there a sweet spot when it comes to the age of the audience?
So no, there's not. We've hit as young as middle school age on up to high school. And if need be, we would go even younger than that.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a scared straight. It's just real life that's happened to Rashawn and Desmond, and they want to share their story so someone else doesn't have to live what they are living. And listen, beyond Capital Region Crimestoppers, we could not do this without the Louisiana State Police.
Sure.
These are Department of Correction inmates.
Yeah.
We appreciate their hand in it as well.
Q&A with the audience, Q&A with the students. What are your takeaways when you hear the students ask questions?
It's very impactful.
Yeah.
It's good questions. You have some that have actually lived the story that Rashawn and Desmond have told to a certain extent.
That's where you're winning.
You're winning. You've had kids that have become very, upset, as far as you can see the tears rolling down their face. It's very impactful. And to roll into something else, I have to mention Percy Wilson, who was an unsolved homicide. Tomorrow is the anniversary, a 4-year anniversary. Percy Wilson was killed on January 16, 2022, South I-110 near Hollywood Street. Baton Rouge Police responded regarding a stalled vehicle and found Percy suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. So I say that to say that here's a family, along with the other unsolveds that we have in the Baton Rouge area, throughout the Capital Region area, Crimestoppers covers, that families are looking for answers.
Right.
So let's get ahead of this. And listen, if you have information of a crime that is going to be committed, give Crimestoppers a call. Let's get ahead of it and be proactive in it. Or if you just have an issue you need to discuss regarding bullying, regarding whatever it is, we're anonymous.
Right.
Call us. No one will ever know, because we don't know who you are, but let us help you before it gets to the point of no return.
We got Don Coppola with us for about 2 more minutes. Is there anybody else we're looking for today?
So yes, East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office is looking for a Travis James Jr. Travis James Jr., 24 years old, on the charge of illegal use of weapons, domestic abuse, aggravated assault, child endangerment.
No, but Don, there it is, domestic abuse. There it is again. Because when you rewind the clock back to last weekend and Thursday as well, when you hear charges like this of domestic abuse, they lead to the scene like what we saw over the weekend when domestic abuse turns to shooting.
And I believe Lieutenant McNeely had made mention of Facebook post or some kind of disagreement on social media or text messages or whatnot. There's other ways to work this out.
Yeah.
Than going straight to this type of violence that we have. So check out our Facebook page.
Travis,
check out our
you
website.
said-
Travis James Jr.
Travis James Jr. Is his name. And yeah, go to
And another one, Brian
Go for it.
Gregory Harris, 35 years old, wanted by the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, interfering with emergency communication, battery of a dating partner, strangulation.
there you go.
So-
So it's the same. Yeah.
Same thing, domestic violence. So we are here. Reach out. Let us help. Go to our Facebook page, crimestoppers225.com. Request Beyond the Bars program. Reach out to us, and let's just have some conversations and try to stop what is going on here.
344-STOP is the phone number. 344-STOP. If you see anything out there that you believe is related to a crime, if you have tips related to a crime, if you visit the Capital Region Crime Stoppers Facebook page or crimestoppers225.com, get a look at some suspects and whatnot. You see anything that kind of triggers a memory, 344-STOP. He's Don Coppola. We do Crime Stoppers this time every week. Always appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.
Here's your money now. Oh,
Yeah, I would look ahead because I know we want to do a longer segment with them.
yeah.
But maybe next month. What
Okay.
I mean, because I know we're kind of middle of this month, and we're going to Terra soon, back to Woodline, and then Walker next month. So
You let me know, and I'll find like, is there a day of the week that's better for them? And
I mean, just give me a couple options.
okay,
Would you say morning is better for you, or what? What I mean, as far as audience, you think, or
I think if we get them in on like a so I want to do like the entire 8 o'clock hour from 8:15 until the end of the show.
which
So like
is
the
how
first,
long?
can we do the first Thursday? Oh, it's about 45 minutes. The first, and like let them do as much of the presentation as they could do.
Oh yeah, they can do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and if when you get time, go to that link. It's maybe 2 minutes, but it's really really good.
The either do you want? Let me find out a Wednesday where we can get this done. That way, it's not on the same day as the Crime Stoppers. Just
Hey,
for
we can use
separate
it
calls
as
of
a Crime
attention.
Stoppers thing if you want.
Okay.
I mean, let's do that.
I'm not trying to eat up your time.
No, but it's something that needs to be said, heard.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I will see you next week, if not before.
You will see me next week, yes, sir.
And then I don't know what I'm going to do the next week. I'll just
You can hang out with Bree Lynn.
I may do that.
She'll be here.
Get her coffee. Now that I know,
Yeah.
because I was not going with blue when it was yellow.
You talking about the sugar packets?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. He like came up here and he's like, which ones? I was like, I wouldn't have cared, but
Oh yeah. Hey, anybody else? It wouldn't matter. But
Oh,
Yes,
Lord.
sir.
You too. Always. Oh, man. Stretch a little bit.
All righty, y'all need holler. Good to see you, man. As always.
you.
Likewise.
Right there.
You too.
Full circle,
Gumbo said. Looking at the officer who's getting second edit requires someone. Continue next.
The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Now, a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 traffic
Which,
center.
by the way, the questions in mind. Question. The AI hallucination was the 3FMW. Might get turned into a fraud. Right. We stop right there. I'm sorry. We'll continue next.
Is there some kind of training going on or something today? Or a retreat or something? There's literally nobody here. Like the entire parking lot. Condon's here. I'm here. You're here.
No ESPN?
No, ESPN's probably here, but like
That's it.
Flynn, Gordy, Forrest, like nobody.
Let me see. I got access to Michelle's calendar. I know nobody's going to be here Monday because of MLK
That's
Day.
that's day of service. We're gonna be at the food bank. I'm gonna be on location at the food bank that day.
Monday for
Yeah.
MLK? No, Tuesday. We're doing day of service Tuesday.
I was told Monday at 7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We have got we got so much more to cover still, y'all. Coming up next hour, there's a huge merger in the railroad world. Union Pacific announced plans recently to merge with Norfolk Southern. It's going to create the nation's first ever transcontinental transcontinental railroad. If approved, the single network will connect more than 50,000 route miles across 43 different states. This is going to be a big deal. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk with Aiden Buzzetti about this move. Aiden Buzzetti is president of the Bull Moose Project. What are the implications of the proposed merger? We will talk with him in the 8 o'clock hour. Also in the 8 o'clock hour, and I'm really looking forward to this. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. He's a former Georgia Bulldog. Champ Bailey, who Tiger fans may or may not remember the LSU-Georgia game in 1998 where Champ Bailey did everything on all three sides of the football, offense, defense, and special teams. He was a beast. Anyway, he's featured in a new film called Signing Tony Raymond. And this is, Signing Tony Raymond, set in the Deep South, follows Coach Walt McFadden, a talented but idealistic assistant coach at Louisiana University who's out of second chances. After failing to land a top recruit in the previous year, Walt is given one last shot at redemption, signing the nation's #1 defensive end, Tony Raymond. It goes on from there. We're going to have NIL discussions. We're going to have the discussion of walking that line between movie and reality. Champ Bailey's going to join us in our coming up at 8:40. Right now, though, Senator Bill Cassidy, busy at work up on Capitol Hill. You heard the story in our news from Louisiana Radio Network as well. So among the 3 appropriations bill that the Senate is expected to take up this week, there is one that includes more than $350 million in earmarks for 51 different projects right here in Louisiana. One of those projects would dedicate more than $137 million towards construction and maintenance for flood control work on the Atchafalaya River Basin. Senator Bill Cassidy says when it comes to that particular project, preventing high water in the Atchafalaya Basin, that's a critical move. Cut 10.
You can actually get backflow back through, I think, Bayou Buff and Bayou Black that goes back up and floods communities further inland. And some of these gates being installed are those gates to prevent that backwater flow.
So Cassidy says the money for these projects would actually be less than the money spent last year.
We're still able to dedicate resources to things like Morganza to the Gulf, which help prevent flooding, devastation of people's lives, and a greater expenditure on behalf of the federal government as we attempt to help communities recover.
That's a project that could be part of a greater infrastructure project to protect the coastal parishes. when you talk about like down low by like St. Mary and Terrebonne and Lafourche.
This is all part of that system. And the Atchafalaya is obviously a key element of how you control that water.
And a part that we don't normally think about, right? Normally when we're thinking about like Morganza the Gulf or it's further east than that. So good to see this going on. Good to see the senator working on South Louisiana and the overall coastal protection that we need. Bottom line is we do need it. All right, we're going to have ABC News coming up in 30 seconds. Next hour, we'll have This Day in History. Next hour, we'll talk railroads. Next hour, we'll talk with Champ Bailey. Before we get to ABC News, let me remind you one more time, talk1073.com. It's the Carnival at Kenilworth King Cake giveaway. Go to talk1073.com, sign up. We're giving away a free king cake from Mathern's at Kenilworth in the last segment of the show today. Sign up on our website. Here's news. All right, we'll be back in 2 seconds. Got my shirt.
Got your shirt.
I'm ready for my day of service.
Are they comfortable?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I don't think we're gonna get any ounce of snow, not even a flurry. It's just not gonna time up.
I am seeing a lot of contradictory reports. And Scott Pele out of New Orleans, he's saying we're going to get snow. And I'm like, used to be Fox 8. What the Fox 8? Yeah, they went to the Weather Channel, and now he's back. Anyways, but then I'll see other people, and they're like, nope, we're not going to get anything. I wonder what Balaam Rogers has to say.
We're all going to die in a tornado.
Now a check on your drive from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center.
The drive down I-12 is up to 42 minutes now from Duggan to Innsbruck Split. Now along the way, we do have two accidents. They're both on the left shoulder of the road. One of them at Sherwood Forest, the other at near Priscilla. Meantime, if you're traveling westbound I-10 from Highland to Bridge, expect a 21-minute drive along the way there. And on LA1, 15 minutes from Addis to the I-10 on-ramp. All right, now on.
Well, the defensive stats. There we go.
This report comes to you from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Talk 107.3 weather.
Another cold front has passed through, and cooler air is working its way in after temperatures in the lower 40s and 30s this morning. Highs will barely leave the 40s, getting into the lower 50s this afternoon under complete control. Sunshine overnight, cold air works its way in. Freezing. We start to warm up on Friday, getting to 68. Here comes another cold front over and delivers some isolated showers in the overnight hours, and then cooler air.
And it'll bring snow.
.806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing, starting off the third hour, just 40 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Oh, man, we got a busy hour for you coming to you from the 180 Pros studio. Not your IT provider, your IT partner. Learn more at 180pros.com. Talking railroad merger in our next segment. I'm really looking forward to 840. We've got Champ Bailey going to be on the hotline with us. Signing Tony Raymond is a new movie that's coming out. It's actually there's Louisiana ties to the movie, or at least Louisiana characters in the movie, although it wasn't filmed in Louisiana that I know of. But we're going to talk with Champ Bailey about the new film and basically the new face or the new way we look at college football. This is, everything from small town recruiting to big time NIL deals. We'll talk with Champ Bailey about that a little bit. Probably we might reminisce about he played in Tiger Stadium at one point. He was with the University of Georgia. He had 7 catches for 114 yards. He had 3 kick returns for 66 yards. A couple tackles on defense. Georgia came into Tiger Stadium in 1998 and pulls out a 28-27 win. They don't do that without Champ Bailey. So we're going to have a little fun. That's all coming up later on in the show. Before we get you to this day in history, I do need to remind you about Washington Mardi Gras coming up very, very soon. In fact, 2 weeks from today, I'll be doing my show live from the Washington Hilton. Every year, Louisiana's leaders, influencers, and decision makers make the trip up to D.C. for Washington Mardi Gras. We will be right there in the thick of it again. Thursday, January 29th, Friday, January 30th, doing this show, Mornings with Brian Haldane, and doing a special afternoon drive show both days. We're going to bring you the heart of what goes on at Washington Mardi Gras. So many connections throughout the state, so many different people to talk to. It is fantastic. I'm working on the guest list right now, working on the rosters for the show, the rundowns for the show, and we're going to have some really special programming for you. Talking to people you don't hear from on a day-to-day basis around here, to be sure. Some that you do, but some that you don't hear from very often. And it's all brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, Rev, the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association, and Restore the Mississippi River Delta. Time for this day in history. Let's get it.
There aren't many times when going backwards actually moves us forward, but this is one of those times. This day in history.
You gotta come back with me.
Starting now on Talk 107.3.
In 1870, the donkey was first used as a symbol of the Democratic Party.
Donkey.
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 From Shrek.
Yeah.
In 1871, the Tulane Avenue streetcar began service. It was a key part of early New Orleans public transit history.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was dated that way far back.
Yeah.
Okay. 1934, New York Yankees slugger Babe Ruth, nearing end of his illustrious career, signs a one-year contract worth $35,000.
Wow.
And it represents a pay cut of $17,000 for the Babe.
Okay.
Which
So he
back
was
then,
making 52 before that?
right?
That's big money.
Which back then, huge amounts of
What
money.
year was this?
This was 1934.
Okay. So
I'm
if I
wondering-
remember, and this might be one of those things where it's not true, but it sounds true, so it
Right.
sounds good. But if I'm not mistaken, FDR was the president in 1934. Franklin Delano was the president in 1934. Babe Ruth was making more than the president. Now, this is the part that might not be true.
I know. And I think he was the president because in 1942.
No. I know he was the
Okay,
president.
okay.
I don't know if the quote is true.
If the quote's true.
Right.
Well, in 1942, still president, Franklin Roosevelt sent his famed green light letter to MLB commissioner. At the time, it was Kenosha Landis. Kennesaw Landis.
Mountain. Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
Mountain Landis, yep.
Middle name of Mountain. I
Who
didn't
would've
do that to
thought?
my son. No.
No. Encouraging baseball to continue playing during World War II.
Hey,
Because
you know
gotta need some.
Taylor and his wife are pregnant right now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew that.
You know how hard we're all working to convince Taylor's wife to name their son Razor?
Somebody told me Alondra said that. And I was like, it is.
Well,
Are they
Taylor,
really?
okay, so former producer of this show, Taylor Sharp. If your last name's Sharp, you have to name your son Razor.
Oh, come on. He has to. He has to. And then RAZR. Just to be clever and cool.
Not like the flip phone.
Yeah, and cool. Like you know, because Taylor's a Gen Z. He has to stay with the.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm fine with the full RAZOR. Like a
All
Gillette.
right.
Like a Gillette.
A
Or a
Gillette
Dollar
razor.
Shave Club. Or who had Harry's probably advertising somewhere on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see. 1961, Berry Gordy signs the Supremes to Motown Records.
No kidding.
Yep.
Big day for them.
1973, U.S. President Richard Nixon suspends all U.S. offensive action in North Vietnam.
Okay.
1974, TV sitcom Happy Days.
Yeah, see,
begins.
now we're getting into the stuff that I had wrong yesterday.
Right, Sunday, Monday. All right, let's see.
This day in 1967 was the first Super Bowl.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers, Kansas City Chiefs.
Huh.
Yeah.
1987 champion Boston Celtics NBA forward Larry Bird is named Man of the Year by the Sporting News.
Okay.
Let's see. 1997, Princess Diana of Wales calls for an international ban of landmines, angering ministers in the UK.
Okay.
2009, the
Sully.
the Sully lands and it was takeoff from LaGuardia Airport in NYC and landed on the Hudson River shortly after takeoff. In 2009, on this day, the Saints hired Greg Williams as their team's defensive coordinator. This was a key...
I don't think we want to mention that anymore.
Well, at the time, it was a key offseason move.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
but also Bounty Gate.
I
So,
know,
yeah.
I know. 2023 Lakers LeBron James surpasses NBA career points, joining only
Don't care.
Kareem
He's the worst.
Abdul-Jabbar.
He's the worst. By the way, speaking of basketball, on this day in 1892, the rules of basketball were first published in Triangle Magazine. Of course, those rules of basketball were written by none other than Dr. James Naismith. So, shout out to the rules being printed for the first time ever.
So all your birthdays from yesterday, I have Drew Brees.
You got Drew Brees.
Yeah.
You got Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. I have
Yep.
Pitbull, turns 45 today.
Yep.
Let's see. Dove Cameron, age 30. I recognize
No
the
kidding.
face. Let me see what she's in.
She's the Disney star that would played herself and her twin sister.
Yes.
Like one's
Liv
a
and Maddie.
Liv and Maddie. Yes, she's the super basketball player,
Okay.
but she's also the actress, like who does the singing and the acting and whatnot.
Okay.
I know way too much about that show.
And that's all I got for birthdays.
All right, cool. Gene Krupa as well.
Awesome. I have the Irish musician, singer, songwriter from the Cranberries. Hello. We're
Okay.
going to come to you in just a bit.
Yeah, okay. I have. You're moving over to deaths. I've got Meyer Lansky died on this day in 1983.
Okay. Let's see. That's really all I have. And then notable days today, National Bagel Day.
Fine.
I'll take
Whatever.
it.
I guess.
Cream cheese.
I guess. 814 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. All right. Big merger proposed in the railroad world. What are the real life ramifications for us? We will talk with Aiden Buzzetti next.
Hey, so sorry. Good morning. We're going to come to you in about 2 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can go ahead and kill your microphone when you answer the phone. So, it's okay.
My bad.
It's all right.
Presidential salary was $75K.
Okay. See, like I said, that's one of those that, like, maybe it's real, maybe it's not, but it sounds good. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. We're going to split this segment in half. Okay. And we're going to miss news at the bottom of the hour.
Okay.
New energy in here.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing?
Hello.
So you have to put up with him on a regular basis?
I do. But he's
Bree Lynn, that's Councilman Hurst. Councilman Hurst, that's Bree Lynn. JP decided to go do something else for a living. So,
I like JP.
Me too.
I'm gonna like you better. You look better.
I like JP. Yeah, thank you.
do what? Make sure. So, I got to knock out this quick interview. Will be about, we'll go from, say, 24 to 32. All right.
So look.
Kill. Yeah. .817 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. So back last July, it was announced that Union Pacific was announcing plans to merge with Norfolk Southern, and this is a big deal. But what are the real life ramifications of it? Joining us now, he heads up the Bull Moose Project. Aiden Buzzetti's on with us. Aiden, how are you? Good morning. Welcome to Talk 107.3.
I'm doing well. Good morning to you, and thank you so much for having me on.
No, of course. Glad to have you on. Glad to be talking about this. Let's start with this. The proposal, where is it right now? Has this happened? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so basically the merger was announced last summer, last July.
Mhm.
Shareholders approved it by November of 2025. And then in December, they filed their merger application to the Surface Transportation Board, which is the government body that will ultimately make the decision on whether or not the merger will go through.
Mhm.
So basically, they submitted their comments. Any supporters or opposition, they submitted comments to this agency. And right now, the Surface Transportation Board is reviewing the application to see if anything is missing. That's where we're at in the process right now.
So those that, by the way, it is a big move because it would connect more than 50,000 route miles across 43 different states. From your end, it's a big move. Is it a good move?
We do believe it is a good move. Ultimately, we think that this merger will accelerate President Trump's agenda to restore America to global trade in the right way, in a fair way, and actually help domestic companies and exporters get their products to ports with less delays caused by interchanges, where ultimately you have products switching from rail line to rail line, and sometimes that can get disorganized. You can lose your cars or your items, and that creates ripple effects all the way down the supply chain. So we do think that bringing these two companies together will create a more efficient way to get products to ports for export.
What are the hangups right now, since it is still two companies? Like, where do we run short?
Run short on
like
rail
what
in
is
general?
it about making the two companies one company that's going to make it more streamlined, going to make it better? Are there gaps in communication there? Are there just general rules that are prohibiting us from doing things?
Mm-hmm.
What's the holdup?
Yeah, so these companies merging together would create basically a shared rail line from coast to coast throughout the United States. That means, you load your product in the middle of the country, you can send it to the East Coast, you can send it to the West Coast, to a port, wherever you need to get it to, without moving outside of that rail line. Right now, because there are several different rail companies in the U.S., there's an interchange point where you have to switch the cargo on the tracks.
Okay.
And think about it as switching in the airport, right? You have a connecting flight. So you get on your first plane, you fly to the next airport, you deboard, and you get on the next plane.
Right.
Think about how many times people get their luggage lost in that process. It's very, very similar to that. And so we think that these companies coming together would actually reduce those instances and make it easier, cheaper, more efficient for people to get their products to the ports they need to.
Basically, like running a rundown in baseball. The fewer throws, the less fewer opportunities you're going to have to screw things up along the way. It just
Exactly.
The more it can be streamlined, the better the outcome is going to be. When we talk about this process, and you said we're kind of in that sit and wait period right now. Do we have timelines on how long this takes to play out?
Yeah, I mean, like everything the government does, it's a little bit long.
Sure.
Right now there's an early target to get this done by next year, early 2027. That really depends on the Surface Transportation Board's review process, but we are fairly confident that it will get done by the end of President Trump's term. I mean, again, this would fulfill a key part of the Trump agenda here, which was to make American exporters better, to bring more manufacturing back, to incentivize that kind of trade on the global stage. So the merger agreement itself expires in January of 2028, so about 2 years from now.
Okay.
The process could go that long, but it is possible to extend it. We're fairly confident, though, that it should be finished, finalized in the next year and a half.
We got about 2 minutes left with Aiden Buzzetti from the Bull Moose Project. One of the bigger, I mean, this might be kind of the slap of the forehead because it's so obvious, but like the built out infrastructure that we already have, that's got to be one of the biggest selling points for making this move forward.
Yeah, exactly. These are two very successful companies. Bringing them into one company should make everything more efficient. And to that point, they've made a lot of guarantees to their workers, to the unions, that things will stay the same and that they will not perform behaviors like mass layoffs that many workers would otherwise be concerned about. And in fact, one of the largest rail worker unions actually endorsed the deal for this reason.
Last one before we get you out of here, and I'm going to want to follow up with you as we get closer to decisions being made and whatnot. Last one before we get you out of here, and that is going to ask you to play devil's advocate. What are the hangups? What's the argument against?
I mean, look, there are very few companies on the domestic rail stage. This would create a very, very large rail company. And so the remaining competitors are very concerned about the antitrust implications. They don't want the rail companies to be anti-competitive, which I completely understand. I mean, our organization is inspired by Theodore Roosevelt, one of the great American trust busters.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his targets was on rail. But ultimately, we think that because of the guarantees this company made, because of the way it fits in with the Trump agenda, that there won't be any anti-competitive concerns, and that it will ultimately sail through.
He is Aiden Buzzetti from the Bull Moose Project, talking about the potential merger between Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern. Aiden, I appreciate you carving out a couple quick minutes this morning. And like I said, I'm going to follow up as we get closer to a decision.
That sounds great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It is 8:25 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Pivoting real quick. We're getting a twofer on this segment. Metro Councilman Daryl Hurst in the house. How are you, man?
You're glad to be here.
Glad to have you on here. Coming up Monday is Martin Luther King Day, of course, a day of service for most. Our day of service isn't until Tuesday. I was told to get my day of service T-shirt, so that's what I'm wearing right now. Got the
love it.
We'll be
I'm still
repping that 2X. Working on it. So we'll be doing our service on Tuesday, actually. Okay. But you got something coming up. If I'm not mistaken, it's all weekend.
It is. So what we talk about when we talk about true public safety is tied to systemic change in our communities, and it's tied to providing people with an education and workforce development opportunities so that they can go to either college or career path directly out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you start seeing the trades entering back in through DIET programs and other things in typically 9 through 12th grade. And so this is about how do we break into that cosmetology industry. Last year, we did a hair braiding class for young girls, gave them everything they needed to leave there and start the next day. Now, we know this is regulated, so we're not giving them degrees, but what we're giving them is hope and opportunity and purpose. And this is an
first step on a path towards that, though.
Absolutely.
If you're sparking interest, the hopeful follow-up is that they would, continue down that path.
Correct. So this is eyelash application. When we start doing the math on this, a decent eyelash technician makes about $200 per application.
Mm-hmm.
You do enough of those a day, you can get tens of thousands of dollars a month. So while it seems like, hey, parents, beauty is not a real career path, think about how much you pay to get your nails done, your hair done, your eyelashes applied, your eyebrows arched, makeup applied. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And when you look at how social media is driving people to an aesthetics-based peer pressure, that this industry has grown so much. And so for the ones that don't take that 4-year or 2-year collegiate path, there are also degrees that will allow them in 10 to 12 months to start making the types of money that we think about making long term.
Telling me there's billions of dollars in eyelashes. You're telling me there's billions of dollars in eyelashes.
Eyelashes, makeup, eyebrows.
What the hell are we doing for a living, Daryl?
The wrong things. So this is all about laying the foundation. We've always said if you lay a foundation for a kid, you don't have to fix an adult. And so when you think about crime happens in areas with low household median income, low education, high crime. When we start giving you career and workforce opportunities long term, then we start changing the narrative in our communities.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get it twisted, because we're not saying that a few sessions on learning some aesthetics is going to be the key to solving crime in Baton Rouge, but opening entrepreneurship doors is a bigger picture.
It's 100%. And so I'll give you an example. Last year we did hair braiding. The year before that we did a DJ camp, right? So we had all these are fully sponsored. So these people come in, they bought them turntables, they bought them speaker systems, they bought laptops for 14 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 14 kids, 4 of them actually became DJs and started doing parties. So no, you didn't affect the whole bunch. But the 4 of them, we changed their lives because they saw an opportunity to make money as a young kid, but also a potential career path to become a Brian Haldane moving forward.
Well, I'm trying to quit DJing. I'm getting like 4 or 5 weddings a year, but like I want out. I want my weekends back.
That's right.
That's so yeah, we need more. We need more so somebody else can get the phone call. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, get booked to be sure. Give me the detail. Actually, before we get to the details of like if there's sign up or registration or whatever, buy-in is always big on this. So who do you have backing you up on it?
So we have Bella Lachey Aesthetics is our partner. They're a lash wholesaler, but also one of the premier lash technicians in the city, led by Lacey Roberson. But we also have Sustainable Designs that has sponsored it. We have Block Companies. We have CST Developers, Republic Services, and Corson Nickel Lobbying Group has come in. They understand what we do. They see the impact, the community-based response, and we appreciate our sponsors for being there for us and also for investing in our kids.
Absolutely. And the investment in the kid is the big part. So let's talk about it. January 17th through 19th. We're looking for high school students to be taking part in this. Where do they need to go? What do they need to do?
So you go to our Instagram page or Facebook page. We did it over social media. We had great responses. And there'll be a QR code on the image, and you can go there. It takes you to a job form, which allows you to register. And then kids are getting randomly selected. We're only choosing 15.
Okay.
Just because of instruction. We want to make sure the kids really learn it.
Sure.
And they get mannequins, lashes. I mean, it's a whole setup, and they leave there with a parting gift. So the kids will be fed every day. The kids will be taken care of. You drop them off. They come back home. Mamas, get your eyelashes ready.
And what about the participation part of this? Anybody gets to be a guinea pig?
The mannequins get to be a guinea pig.
Oh, okay.
So even when we did the braiding class, we bought mannequins. We bought the hair braiding. The parting gift there was all the kids got a salon chair that pumped up so they can go home and create a room in their house to start. Man, listen, we want to give these kids an opportunity when they leave there that if they could be regulated to start the business the next day. But if they want to practice on folks, to have the ability to do that as well and not charge.
That's very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. January 17th through 19th. You did say 4 came out as DJs. How many with the hair braiding last year? Did we get
a lot
number?
more. The girls are still braiding. And the good thing about it, I'll tell you, my daughter, she poked her head in there for a couple of minutes. And just for the time that she was in there, just being there with me, she learned techniques and she does her own hair now. So she saved me a little bit of money, not a lot, but a little bit of money, man. So the girls that were there left there with a trade. And if they didn't start braiding their friends' hair, they saved their parents money by being able to work on their own. And so we're excited. We want to keep it going. We're looking to do a lawn class with boys coming up this year. Okay. And an ag class. Had some conversations teaching young kids farming and dealing with the company hates when I say farming, but agriculture, because it's bigger than farming. It's dealing with livestock, teaching the ag careers, which are there's a shortage, but it's a high yielding profession.
I was actually talking about this last hour that like agribusiness, like 4-H clubs in high school and whatnot, those numbers are on the downturn right now, and agribusiness runs Louisiana.
It does, man, and it runs we talk about some of our greatest exports.
Yes, we feed the world.
That's right.
I have Dr. Mike Strain on every month. We literally feed the world.
So our job is to feed into that with the young men later on this year and young women that are interested in ag. But it's all about laying the foundation for youth again, so that we don't have to fix an adult. And systemic change for public safety is making sure that everybody's educated, has workforce and career opportunities, and that they become great citizens, parents, and productive people in society.
It's all about the entrepreneurship. And
absolutely.
Fathers of daughters looking out too.
Absolutely.
He is Metro Councilman Daryl Hurst. We got to get you back on soon. Talk a little Metro Council news.
A lot of Metro Council. A lot going on.
We got. All right. If you're not watching on Facebook, you the face changed on Daryl. Looked like you know when the Grinch smiles. A little bit. I mean, you're not the Grinch, but I was in the turn, the smile.
There's a lot behind the curtains of politics. It's never what you see. It's always what you don't see.
I know.
And a lot of political hits happen, and a lot of things. People do a whole lot of talking, and we have a lot of political prostitutes on the council. That when you got a banana clip full of stuff, what you do is try to keep a good image. And the reason why is because if one person is bad, all of them must be bad, right? And so I let them talk, man. But you know what? You know what somebody told me?
What?
A robber does not come and invade an empty vault. So if you're being attacked, then there must be some substance there, especially if it's coming from multiple people. So for me, I take it as a compliment. I look at how whether it was Republican or Democrat, they went after Obama, he was still the president. They went after Trump, he was still the president. They went after Bush, he was still the president. They're going after Jeff Landry and John Bill Edwards.
I don't know why.
They're still the governors.
Why did I even open the?
You did.
No, I did. I opened it, but I got to close it back up for now. For now, we'll get you back on real soon. He's Metro Councilman Daryl Hurst. I'll go to it. It's on your Facebook page with the QR code.
Facebook,
right?
social media.
Cool.
Councilman Daryl Hurst, Daryl Hurst 225, and also our council page live in District 5.
Awesome stuff. Always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Here is local news, traffic, weather. We got Champ Bailey next.
Cut it all the way off. It's all the way off. Everything.
840 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, wasting no time to get right back to the hotline. There's a new movie coming out, a film coming out tomorrow, actually. It's titled Signing Tony Raymond. Joining us now to talk about it is one Champ Bailey. Champ, how are you, man?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Of course, you're on in Baton Rouge right now, so I would be remiss if I didn't take us all the way back to October 3rd of 1998 when Champ Bailey rolls into Tiger Stadium, 7 catches, 114 yards, no big deal. A couple tackles on defense, maybe about 60-plus yards in the return game. There was nothing you didn't – I was in Tiger Stadium that day. There was nothing you didn't do that day.
Oh, man. You know, I was excited to play in that game because if you remember, Kevin Falk was the big deal. I was a big fan of his. And to be on the same field with him competing and trying to match his talent, it was definitely one of those games I'll never forget.
It was what, y'all won by 1 point, I think. It was like a 28-27 win for Georgia. So unbelievable performance and on to an unbelievable career from there. And I would love to go through all of it, but I know time is short. So let's get right down to it. Signing Tony Raymond. What's it all about?
Signing Tony Raymond. So, you know, it's a great feature film. You know, I actually got involved with it. It was really a surprise to me that it fell at my feet because it wasn't something I was looking for. But when good projects come about, I know to take advantage of it. And Glenn Owen, who's the writer-director, he's a former Dog, played basketball at Georgia a little before I got there. But, you know, once we met, I read the script, it just made sense. I could relate to the story of Tony Raymond. You know, the story takes place in South Alabama, so I grew up in South Georgia. So totally relatable to my recruiting process. And then as you read it, you start understanding, and I start reminiscing about the recruiters and the stories they would tell me about the people they would meet in my hometown. And the recruiter in this movie, Walt McFadden, he has to deal with everybody trying to leverage access to Tony Raymond to their benefit. And it's a lot of funny parts, a lot of great acting. I mean, it's one of those movies, man. I look back, I can't believe all the work that we put into it, but I'm more surprised at how great it turned out. It's because I've never done it. And but it took a lot of hard work. I let the experts do what the experts do. Glenn did a great job of, you know, mastering the set and getting everybody where they needed to be and pulling all the great talent together. I helped procure a little talent, you know, guys like Marshawn Lynch has got a significant role in the movie. Brian Bosworth, the Boz is in the movie. And then, you know, from a high level, Mira Sorvino, Academy Award winners in the movie. Rob Morgan, Michael Mosley, they all played great parts and they poured into it. And without them, man, I don't know if it'd be the success it has been. I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody come back and give me the feedback that I'm looking for, because when we did our screening, people laughed when they were supposed to. You know, everybody the feedback has just been great.
Well, and that's
you know, I know you've seen the trailer. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback when you see the full movie, because it's one to watch it, and it's relatable to anybody, whether you're a sports fan or not.
Well, and the humor doesn't take away from the weight of it either. And maybe because, you know, this is an SEC town, just like you're, you know, an SEC guy as well. We all know how heavy this is, and we all know how much our local economies run on this. We all know how much we put into, you know, those cathedrals of football on Saturdays. So we get the back end too.
Yes. And you know, what you realize throughout the movie is, and it becomes, as it unfolds, it becomes more evident, like what's important to Tony Raymond. And ultimately, that's what matters. You know, like, forget the money and all the things that are, you know, involved with recruiting these days. You know, it's the long-term success and what's really important to the athlete that matters. And that resonated with me in this film. And I'm glad we were able to tell that story in that way, because I think a lot of people in and around college sports could take something valuable from this even families. Like it's one of those, like, when you're trying to get your kid to the next level, understand what's really important and try to lean in on that.
Well, and that's where I want to pivot a little bit, Champ, since we got you on here. By the way, Champ Bailey's our guest right now. The new film is called Signing Tony Raymond. That's where I wanted to pivot a little bit, because as a Hall of Famer, as a guy who's done it on the highest level possible, in today's NIL era, how difficult is it for the young athlete to keep the eye on the real prize and not the short-term paycheck?
It's impossible, to be honest, because you got to take. I mean, we can both relate. Okay, we were both 18 at some point, right?
Right.
Imagine somebody offering you money at one school, and then somebody comes back and doubles that at another. Are you not gonna look at that? Like, so to me, the money needs to be taken out of the conversation, because if you don't take it out of the conversation, the kids won't be able to focus on what really matters. And it's unfortunate, and the adults know this. Like, and so that's what really ticks me off a little bit about the process, is we know that this money right now is not going to last, and that's not what's really important. Now, it doesn't mean they don't deserve to get it. It's just the way that we pay them and compensate them now. It needs to be structured in a way that protects their future, and that's not what we're doing. And it's unfortunate, and I think at some point we'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's moving a little too slow for me.
Do you see? Well, I was going to say, do you see it leveling out?
At some point, it will. I think it's going to take a lot of lawsuits. It's going to take a lot of pushing, because here's the thing: like, there's a lot of people making a lot of money in and around college sports, especially football, right? So we know the money's there. And this phantom cap that everybody has, we know that doesn't really exist. It's not a hard line, because you can always go over. And you think about the commission, they've had to deny a lot of these NIL deals.
Oh, yeah.
So what does that tell you? Like, okay, the structure is bad. So the moment the adults in the room really sit down and come up with a plan, and I think the adults in the room, and I hate to say it, are the college coaches. Like, they have more leverage than anybody, but they're also the highest paid. So they really want to bite the hand that feeds them. So
yeah, and they don't want to give away an ounce of advantage either. So that's an arms race that no one's going to back off of.
Exactly. So I mean, what is it to Lane Kiffin to just leave Ole Miss, go to LSU? Like, what? Like, that's he was able to do that, and it sounds like, oh yeah, he has the right to do it. But then we frown upon these kids when they jump in the portal. So it is what it is. It's the structure that has to be better. We expect kids to be kids, but the adults need to be adults.
Not here. We're not frowning on them at all. We're scooping them up by the dozen out of the portal. We got less than a minute to go with Champ Bailey. You got producer as a credit. You got actor as a credit. Have you been bit by the bug, and are we going to see you on the big screen more often?
Hold on now. I have a cameo. When people say I'm an actor, I push back on that. I do not want to say that I am qualified to be in that profession.
You have an IMDb that says actor. That was the link to my research.
They deserve to be the pros, and I'll just stay in my lane. I might have a cameo here and there, but I'll definitely be behind the scenes more than in front of the camera.
He is Champ Bailey. The film is called Signing Tony Raymond. There is humor, there's reality, there's weight, there's a whole lot to it. Champ, thank you so much for the time this morning.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Always. Good dude right there. That was fun. Signing Tony Raymond. He said, when I see the whole thing, I have the link to the whole thing. But yeah, it's a fun film. It's a funny film. It does. Honestly, there were parallels. I didn't want to bring this up with him because I didn't know if he would take it as a compliment. It was meant as a compliment. Remember Blue Chips? When you talk about recruiting, it was reminiscent of that a little bit. The acting was better though. It's 8:50. Here's your money now. Thank you.
That was good.
Yeah. Featured?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Absolutely. Did he send you a headshot that I can use, or any pictures at all?
The cover photo for the film.
Send me, forward that to me if you can.
Yeah, as soon as this one came across, because these are run through Premiere. That's a national, and it's no, we'll just announce. As soon as this came across, I was like, because you're going to call them after the show and let them know that go to Mathern's at Kenilworth to pick up your king cake. Okay, Mary Bowen.
Mary Bowen from Baton Rouge. Bowen. She is from.
Okay.
Let me see what part of Baton Rouge. This is Baton Rouge. Yeah, we can just say she's the Harlem Road area, from what I'm showing. Oh, so Premiere was able to.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is going to be an NIL discussion about current college football. I've got an NFL Hall of Famer who played in the Southeastern Conference. I'll talk about the movie for like 2 minutes, but this is going to be a discussion about the current state of college. And we were able to weave the whole freaking thing together. That was awesome. I covered so much ground so fast. But like, what I like is on his end, he's like, it's no big deal for Lane Kiffin to come over from Ole Miss. So, like, he's freaking dialed in. Like, sometimes an athlete is just going to be moved on with their life and whatnot. But how about that? Right at the blocks. Right at the blocks, he's like, I was looking forward to that game because I wanted to play with Kevin Falk. Holy crap! Kevin Falk had 2 touchdowns that day, by the way. But like, I don't know. That made my morning. And by the way, the link to the trailer in there? Because if it is, you can embed the link to the trailer in the. Okay. If there's the secret link, you can't do that one. But yeah, where it says here's the trailer at the bottom and it links to embed the YouTube in there. Yeah. Cool. So
What am I telling Mary when I call her? She can pick up her king cake
at the Mathern's at Kenilworth, right? Today.
Okay. And you're gonna let Mathern's know?
Yep. Letting them know right now. As soon as I text. As soon as I find my phone. Oh, there it is.
Brian, come on to the track.
I pick them up after the show usually.
I know, it's just funny. Brian always trusts that shoot his shot, like he's coming in hot. And I want to show y'all. Boom! Missed the trash can, Brian. Her email is loony bin.
Fair enough.
Goodness. That's why y'all kept saying for Taylor to name his kid Razor. I'm like, why are we naming the kid?
Because his last name's Sharp.
Too funny.
By the way, the interview on the railroad thing, I know I kept it going for another 6 minutes, but it ended the second he said that this review board takes its time. I thought we were looking at news. So, yeah, I thought that was like something that was happening right now. 96, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. I remind you about 5-Star Printing and Signs. Printshop5.com is the website. 271-4096 is the phone number. This will be a huge election year. It's a midterm election year. When I say huge election year, I don't mean something monumental like voting for a new president, but what I do mean is there are going to be numerous elections over the course of numerous ballots, over the course of numerous election days for numerous posts. We're going to be going back to the ballot box. We're going to be going back to the polls probably every other month as the year wears on. We've got midterm elections. We've got the closed primaries for said midterm elections. So we've got earlier elections as well. We've got the District 69 seat that's coming up, by the way. And then we've got, over in Iberville Parish, they've got a race coming up in February. There's going to be school board races, all of it. This is what Danny and his team does better than anybody else ever. When it comes to your campaign's printed materials, when it comes to the yard signs, when it comes to those big old signs, when it comes to the door hangers of the brochures of the mailers, all of it. You want this handled, A, locally, and B, by someone who's going to put as much care into your campaign as you are. That's what Danny does. 271-4096 for 5-Star Printing and Signs. All right, Bree Lynn, who's our winner?
All right, the Kincaid winner, Mary Bowen from Baton Rouge.
Mary Bowen from Baton Rouge is our first winner. By the way, going to be doing this every single Thursday. We will have every Thursday until Mardi Gras. We're going to give away a king cake to be picked up over at the Matherns at Kenilworth. Matherns at Kenilworth is where you're picking this king cake up. That's, by the way, where they've got the mother load. Okay, this is for a Matherns king cake. All right, the giveaway is for a Matherns king cake. But once you get in there, the variety, the selection, and oh, by the way, take a look at how they tricked out that store. When they flipped that store, what was it before? It was Robert's, I think. When they flipped it back into being a Matherns property, because it used to be Kenilworth Supermarket. They did it right, y'all. They did it right. A lot of great things going on over there. Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth. So congratulations, Mary Bowen. I'm keeping one eye on the clock. We're not going to run long. I do want to kind of set the table for tomorrow a little bit, as big news broke yesterday on the Smitty's Supply situation. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk with a chemist. Oh, I'm so out of my depth. This is just like my eyes are going to glaze over. Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk with a chemist about forever chemicals. We're going to talk with a chemist about did we make matters worse by trying to treat things the way they were? We're going to talk about the EPA, their role in this, and if they're living up to it. His name is Scott Smith. He's going to join us in the 6 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. I cannot wait to have this conversation, but we're going to dig in. Where are we? August 22nd to tomorrow. Where are we in the cleanup process? Where are we in getting people's lives back together? It's going to be a deep dive, to be sure. Outside of that, we're going to have king cake as well. Another Foodie Friday coming your way. Oh, I know. Insistent upon not losing weight. We're just.
Do we know who yet? Can you say who?
I'm not. No, no. I've been told it's king cake. I haven't been told who. So,
okay.
Yeah. We'll dig in tomorrow, though. Right now, though, we're all done for the day. Moon Griffon's coming up next. We will see you tomorrow, 6 till 9. And Facebook, we'll see y'all later. And to more accurately